Tuesday, August 26, 2025, like stand for pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, have roll, please.
Mayor John Eric Hoover.
Here.
Vice Mayor Chris Mayer.
Here.
Councilman Robert Hubbard.
Here.
Councilwoman Lisa Burke.
Here.
Councilwoman Christine Sullivan.
Here.
City Attorney Nancy Meyer.
Here.
City Manager Andrew Butterfield.
Here. Okay, first up is comments from the general public. We don't have any here in council. Anybody online? Nope.
None other than Vice Mayor.
All right, seeing none, I'll come back to comments from the city manager. I'll pass it over to Mr. Butterfield for any comments he has.
No brilliant comments from me today, sir. It's just resurrecting last week's workshop, continuing the same discussion.
Okay. So moving right along, council business, item number 1, amendments to the Port Richey sign code. So we'll jump right in. We got down first couple sections, and it's annotated that we finished 121.2, 121.3. So we'll start with 121.4, which is on page. Get through all these whereas clauses.
1519. I don't know which one you go by.
Let's see. Yep, 21.4. Yeah, page 19 at the bottom.
19.
So certain signs exempt from permits. So this section obviously is going to be talk about the signs that we don't need permits for. So if we want to walk through that, so basically one talks about if you already have a sign and you just change the copy of it, right, Nancy?
Yes.
However, must not enlarge or increase sign surface area. So basically, if you change the sign size, then that would negate that. It's only if you're changing what's in the sign, right?
Yes.
Oops.
There's that like signs where they're just going out and changing what it says on it like daily.
Yeah. Yeah, fast loose on sign from okay. So I think it's okay. Number 2, temporary signs. Don't need them. Number 3, flags displayed on flagpoles. I think there's issues there. And you guys just stop me if you see anything you want to talk about. Memorial signs or tablets names of buildings, date of erection when cut into masonry surface or when constructed of bronze or non-combustible materials. So is this like putting up a headstone, I guess, type thing, or a monument for?
I picture it as like sometimes the building has within the building.
Oh, a placard like on the side.
That's what I picture for that.
Or maybe like the time capsule sign.
Yeah, like that probably. Yeah. So no need for cars there. I guess okay. Number 5, in non-residential districts, 2 directional signs per driveway, provided such signs be located on the pertaining to the parcel of private property. So this is like I guess an arrow sign going in and going out, like enter exit type signs. In commercial. Okay. Number 6, in residential districts, 1 non-illuminated identification sign used to identify the address. Number 7, no displayed for secret findings, subject to the following
Can we go
restrictions.
back?
So that's what 6?
Can we go back?
Yeah.
It says non-illuminated.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that.
Because I would think that would be a great thing to be able to see.
Yeah, my neighbor actually put one on his mailbox where he has his address letter or letters on
Like
there,
it's
and
solar.
it's solar and it's lit up.
Right, and why would businesses not be able to do that?
Well, this is residential.
Oh,
Actually.
in resident, yeah. One.
So
No.
yeah, I don't. Is there a reason we want to not allow those to be illuminated?
I think you just want to make sure, and that maybe already addressed some. I know we talked about illumination last time too. That it's you want to have some sort of control on the brightness. You don't want it to be like so bright that the address number.
The solar ones aren't.
Yeah.
Maybe a hardwire. Maybe solar would be okay. Would it not be easier, Chief, to be able to see addresses at night?
Yeah, definitely.
And actually, we'll just like if you have the numbers on your house, you have a light shining on it.
Yeah.
Would that?
Didn't we talk about that last last time? Something about the brightness of the.
Well, this is just talking about what's not needing permits. So maybe
I'll check
you
with
can have illuminated if it's permitted.
I get the idea though. I'll reword
This
it.
isn't so much a sign chief, but I know in different places, I don't know if it's true here, on the utility poles, is there an address on our utility poles?
No, there's numbers on them that correlate with the location of them, but it's not an actual address.
But it doesn't tell you, do you know what that number means if you see it?
No, we can reference back to it in historical value by get in touch with the power company, but not actually figuring out.
Because that was very, very convenient, to be able, if you saw a pole, because you can't always see house address signs, but on the poles, on the utility poles, you knew where you were. I don't know, it's something to consider.
Yeah, I think
I know our city's not real big.
Duke Energy would have to be the ones to approve that since it's their.
It's all underground now.
I
Most
have
of
them.
You have them?
Yeah, mine are going.
I don't have any on my.
Yeah, they didn't go underground
They're
everywhere.
down the back city easement. I know that. I don't know where else. It was just something that I was familiar with that was very convenient.
You know, I wonder if the layout of this code is kind of out of order, because you start off with the signs that are prohibited, and I think that's probably good. Jump right in and say, "Hey, can have this," but then you jump into signs that are exempt from permits, and you haven't really talked about what signs are allowed. What
None. No.
pretty much yeah, exactly.
Your message is none. No. You can definitely move it around. There's the structure, the sections were what was already in the code.
Yeah.
But we can move that
Why
however
don't-
you want.
Why don't we hold off on this section here and actually go through the section after? Because, like on this one with the illumination, maybe if it's illuminated, you need a permit. I guess is what to get. I don't really know what the address restrictions are until we get down.
I would have no objection to the solar.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have objections to even wired, but as long as you're not blasting the light out too many lumens or whatever, I think you probably cover with the intensity of the brightness as opposed to the way you.
Residential. It's never been a thing.
So when we skip this section for now, we'll come back to it.
So you can go to 121-9.
5, non-conforming,
Which is page
bottom of page
18.
22.
Yeah, 20.
So we'll come back to 121-4 after we kind of go through the rest. So non-conforming signs. So non-conforming signs are signs that are allowed but don't conform to the code, I guess, is it?
Non-conforming is it trying to incorporate something that when it was constructed, it was allowed, and the code changed to then make it not allowed.
Mhm.
But so the sign would still be allowed, but it would be a non-conforming use
Right.
because we're not going to make you knock it down and start over. But should it be damaged more than 50%, then you have to start over.
Okay. And that's kind of what it says in A. It says the following signs shall be removed or made to conform to this chapter within 90 days from the effective date. So any temporary signs that may have been grandfathered in have 90 days to be up to code. Any prohibited signs. So let me see. Those signs prohibited by sections. So is this saying if it was non-conforming and then it becomes prohibited, that they have 90 days to get rid of it?
Section B is saying that the following signs shall be removed within 90 days of the effective date of this passing or the sign happening, or made to conform with the chapter.
So this is it. Let's use the pole signs that we talked about earlier. And I'll come right back to you, Bob. So if we were to make those signs prohibited,
Mm-hmm.
right, and somebody had a pole sign, what this tells me is that they would have to remove it or bring it up to code within 90 days.
And I need to, I'll look at subsection 2 after we're done, because we've made some changes to 121-3. So these sub paragraphs might not be the right numbers.
Yeah, probably
So that'll
Definitely fix that.
Conform that to what you guys did to 121-3.
What'd you have? Yes, about?
No, it's just, it's, you can't grandfather anything in, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. From a prohibited standpoint, obviously changes they're allowed, but if it's temporary or if it's prohibited, they got to fix
We
it.
could change something just in one district and.
Yeah. So, and this is interesting too. Are we able to even do that from a grandfathering perspective? 'Cause is that like a state?
I've honestly never seen this language that I can remember in another provision. So I'll have to verify that you can do what
Yeah, I
you're
don't
asking
think
to
you
do
can.
in here.
You could probably
Um,
not do that. Let's say you have a business that you all of a sudden you going forward you don't want to allow any new businesses of a business type. Let's just say strip clubs, right? Let's say that we had that and then we outlaw them. I don't think you'd put it in here that you'd have to change your business.
I think what this is trying to convey, and that's why I need to go back and look at the other section that you made some changes to. Like looking at number 1, it's talking about a temporary sign, so it's trying to keep you from taking something that was temporary and just leaving it. So I think it's just
Yeah, that makes sense.
addressing a second time that's a temporary item, and if you want to keep it, you got to fix it.
Yeah, I agree
And
with that.
I'm going to assume, without having them, I'm not taking the time right now to go back and look, that possibly subsection 2 is also capturing some items on that list that were intended not to be permanent. And so the message is, if you want to make them permanent, you need to fix them.
Mhm.
So I don't know that it's exactly saying the non-conforming from the traditional sense of it's non-conforming because the code changed and now you're allowed to have it. I think it's non-conforming because it's supposed to be temporary or something that's not permanent, and we're reminding you can't keep it in that condition unless you bring it up to code. So I think it's kind of two different
Yeah, so
topics.
yeah, looking at
But I'll just
B2.
make sure the section 2 is consistent with that and the changes that you made.
Okay. See any non-conforming substantial when it exceeds 50% of the value. So that's kind of goes with anything else. If it gets over 50%, you got to bring up the code. And then D, a non-conforming on-site sign should not be replaced by another non-conforming sign. However, substitution of letters, poster panels, and demountable material on non-conforming signs will be allowed. Provisions in section do not apply to signs relocated or reconstructed as a result of condemnation action by any government agency as provided for this land development code. Routine repair and maintenance is allowed as long as it does not increase sign surface area, structure area, or height. That seems really just repetitive, right? Because if you're replacing the sign, it just says you can't take a non-conforming sign down and replace it with a non-conforming sign.
Right.
That'd be just a new sign at that point. So I think that's all
But
okay.
if you're just repairing it, you can repair it as long as you don't make it
Do the exceed the 50%.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Any other comments on 121.5? Good. 121.6 special purpose signs. Let's see. In addition to the signs otherwise permitted by sign regulations, a drive-through restaurant shall be permitted one menu sign placed in proximity to the drive-through lane for the purpose of ordering. I know McDonald's up here has 2 drive-through signs. I think there's probably other places as well that may have more than one, but
I think it's pretty common now. Like,
Yeah.
you have multiple lanes and multiple signs, so this might be.
and I will tell you that when
Yeah.
if Chick-fil-A comes in, like we've heard, then they'll probably have the same issue.
Yeah,
So
so that might be something.
It says to the drive-through lane as if there is only one.
So this might be
Probably
updated.
written at a time when
Yeah.
there was just one.
mhm.
Should we change it?
I think we definitely need to.
You could just
Right.
put an S there.
Put a
Drive
what?
through lanes, just make it plural.
per drive-through lane.
All right, lanes.
In this time, so otherwise permitted by the sign regulations, a drive-through restaurant shall be permitted one menu sign placed in proximity to any drive-through lanes
Mhm.
for the purpose of ordering.
Hey, Eric.
Yeah.
Are we getting ready to have a Chick-fil-A in our town?
Yeah, that's what I just mentioned.
Hmm.
They have like 3 or 4 signs, or one for each lane. It's like a jet, racetrack through there.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times they have, you'll have a menu board and then you actually have the drive-through.
Well, that's what I was gonna point out, that this says, one menu sign placed in proximity to the drive-through lane for the purpose of ordering. So to me, that would be the one, the one you talk to.
Yeah, right.
Doesn't say they can't have others for advertising purposes. Unless there's something in the next sentence that we haven't gotten to.
So
Six shall be permitted one menu sign.
yeah, so maybe we should look at up to 2.
Or one menu sign per lane, like, well,
Well, if you have that one lane and you have like when you're waiting in line, you can see a menu board, and then you actually get to the
Right.
another one that you order from. I don't think I've ever seen more than 2.
Well, you could put this, a drive-through restaurant shall be permitted, menu signs placed in the community or proximity of the drive-through lanes, unless you wanted to limit it to 2 or limit it to 3. It depends on how they do it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's neat and just the way they do their business. It's just in the drive-through lanes too. It's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm. I think we probably reword it to be up to 2 per drive-through lane. So you can't have more than 2 in each drive-through lane. But if you have 2 drive-through lanes, you could have 4, 2 in each.
What if we looked at Chick-fil-A and see what they have and then build it into ours so that we're inviting to Chick-fil-A so that we can eventually have one?
They've got 3 down in Palmetto. Up, and then they got another one with other stuff on it, and then they got the one on the left that's got
Yeah,
yeah.
there's lots. So I wouldn't want to keep
me
it
see
with
if I can get it.
Chick-fil-A.
And I think Burger King.
Yeah, that's when we look at the aerial of the
Yeah.
one down in Trinity.
Yeah, the Hardee's is too. I think they've got the biscuit in a roll. I remember they got the cinnamon roll,
Mhm.
It makes me hungry now.
and then they've got another special. Then they got the menu sign, and then you go around, they got another one.
Well, that's why I don't know. The language to me that's in here that talks about one menu sign for purposes of ordering, to me, that is the one you're
That's
talking
the one
to,
you're speaking.
not the advertisements. I
Well,
think it's 2 different kinds of signs.
Yeah, but then would that be restricted though? Because
You only need one place to talk to.
well, no, I get that.
And
But
that's the way it reads now. I mean, you need, I think you need to make it more than one drive-through lane, because I think the common now you're going to have more than one drive-through lane. I do think that needs to be addressed. I don't know if you need to, and maybe Veronica can help with this. Right now, you definitely, well, whether anyone's following the rules is a different thing. You're supposed to have one sign for ordering, so that's the one sign that you're talking to order. I don't know if anywhere else in the code it limits how many signs they can have to advertise the different specials they have. So they could have 3 other signs.
Why would they have another sign to order from though?
Right.
You only have, you need one. You only need
I
one
don't
box
know
to
why
talk
they'd
to.
have
And now
two.
you don't need that. You need your app, which
If
it's
they,
too
if they
advanced for
need,
me, but they
if
always
they
ask me.
sometimes
about
have someone up take orders when they've got a line out there, and then you get but
And Chick-fil-A doesn't even have signs anymore. They have like people.
yeah, so they got a little the portico there, and there actually just is 2 signs that you order from, and then you go around and they serve you at the window, and there's a person there with the kiosk. So that one doesn't have more than.
I don't see a big deal on that.
Yeah, so I think the one sign for ordering is okay, because again, there's usually that I've ever only seen one sign that you talk to make your order. The menus I think we're all thinking about are their advertisements, which are not limited by this particular subsection. But this doesn't anticipate one drive-through lane, which I agree.
And 20
So,
square feet.
so are you limited to signs in general though? So let's say you had a pre-order menu sign. Does that count against your total signage? Or
So no, the menu sign is just the menu sign. That's exactly what Nancy was saying. You just order in there. That's the menu sign. Generally, they may have a rolling, Dunkin' Donuts may have a rolling one where you can see some of the things before you get to the menu board.
Right.
They may have specials and different things like that, but it's nothing that's really been an issue for us. I mean, you generally see maybe 2 or 3 of those signs out there, but you don't see them very often.
So just put an S pass on the
And it's not
lanes.
prohibited by this. This doesn't prohibit having those extra signs.
Correct.
That provision does not prohibit having the advertisement signs.
right. Well, if it's just from the context of the actual where you order,
Yeah, that's the way I
that's
read it.
fine.
Yeah.
Since these aren't street facing, I mean, could we actually remove some of the language and just they're approved on case by case basis when they submit plans?
Yeah,
Well-
so we review those when we go through the process anyway,
So
For
if
the
they want
sign.
3, they can ask for
Yeah.
3, but if we're restricting it to 2, then
yeah.
I don't, and that's what I'm saying.
I don't think we need to limit that to 2. I think the one menu sign is fine because they're only going to talk into one speaker.
Mhm.
You know, I haven't seen one where we've had multiple menu sign orders, boards. They may have multiple.
I was in Chick-fil-A yesterday.
Which
They
one?
had 4 lanes running, and there was 2 people taking orders in each lane. There was 8 people taking orders at one time, and even during the rush hour, I was in and out of there in about 45 seconds. So they're taking 8 orders at one time, 2 per lane, up to 4 lanes running through at a time. And each one of those people that was taking orders had a menu board right in front of where you look up there and tell them what you wanted.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, they're on iPads, I think, too.
That's not, yeah, that's
It's not a menu.
I'm only thinking about the new Chick-fil-A going in up there where the old Red Lobster was.
Yeah. You haven't got any plans for that, do you?
Is there a Chick-fil-A going in where the Red
That
Lobster
that
is?
may be a totally different.
Yeah.
That may be
Happy
maybe
day,
variance
happy
may be
day.
required for
Wow.
they may
that.
come back and
Red
They,
change
Lobster's
that.
out.
yeah, they have some different
Okay.
circumstances
How
for
come
that.
mine
But
won't?
generally, a menu order
could get a
board
Schwartz
is
fees.
one menu
Remember
order
Schwartz
board.
fees?
Your bike will make
And
it that far
Chick-fil-A,
too.
it's not, it's a human. It's a different
Yeah,
scenario.
definitely.
And
We
they have
know we've
iPads
arrived
and
in
stuff with the
Chick-fil-A
menus on
Yeah,
them.
absolutely. I'm excited.
So I think if you make this 121.6 clear that it can be more than one drive-through lane, I think you make it relevant.
Such signs shall be set back to the minimum building setback for the approximate zoning district or 40 feet, whichever is less. Shall have a sign service area not exceeding 24 square foot. And shall require permit. So that's 12 by 12. I don't know.
Where is that?
That's in that same section. 12 foot by 12 foot is pretty good size. So I don't think there's any issue there.
Is that kind of the standard?
Yeah. I'm assuming the setbacks are right.
I mean, Veronica's there. Do we have a problem with signs at restaurants? I'm kind of wondering why we're limiting how many signs they can have at all as far as the ordering signs. They're just trying to let you know what they have on the menu and quicken your trip through the line. Do we have any problems, Veronica?
No, Chris, we don't. We don't have any issues. Generally, there's only one menu sign.
Right. And that might be the reason we don't have any issues because the code says you can only have one. Right. So that's.
I don't think we've ever had a restaurant ask for more than one. Now they can put multiple signs through the drive-through. You may see a little arrow or you may see a lit up sign that says drive-through or something like that, or maybe with their specials or sales or whatever. But typically you only see one menu signboard.
And then usually only 2 places to order max, usually.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking Chick-fil-A has more, but
Mm.
most places at
What
max
about-
have 2.
Yeah.
What about, like, I think it's McDonald's in a lot of places where you have the waiting sign that you're able to view before you get up to the ordering sign. Is that okay?
Well, that's what you're saying. That's not precluded in this.
Okay.
That's
all
not an ordering sign, yeah.
right. All right.
So Aaron, maybe you were on target at 2 per lane. And
Well, like I said, the one you don't order from, the pre-sign.
We're on it 2 per lane plus the pre. Before you get up there, you can start to look at your value meals or whatever.
Right. Well, that's what they're saying is that those pre-order signs aren't restricted. So it's just the one you actually order from. So I guess as we get down to where there's a number of signs, if there's a limit somewhere in the code, we might need to look at that. But I think we're okay for. And is this the only special purpose sign that there is a drive-through ordering sign?
It appears so.
So I think we're probably good for now, other than changing this to multiple lanes, not
Make
just
sure it
one
can be more
lane.
than- Make
Yeah.
sure it can be more than one lane. I don't even think you say 2 at this point. I think
No,
it
yeah,
can be
'cause,
more than
yeah,
one
just-
drive-through lane. Because
They can have one per drive-through lane.
some Chick-fil-A's you see are
Yeah.
4, 3.
Abandoned sign.
That's 121.7 abandoned signs. So abandoned sign is prohibited and is a violation of this chapter. Permanent on-site signs applicable to a business temporarily suspended because of a change in ownership or management shall not be deemed to be abandoned unless the property remains vacant for a period of 6 consecutive months or more. During that time, the owner shall maintain the signs required by this chapter and shall replace or cover the copy relating to the prior business with an opaque covering. So we talked a little bit about this before, and again, so basically what this says is after 6 months, it's abandoned, no matter what. Which I don't know if that's a good number. Some property maybe sit there for a year or two before it sells. And
Remember, it doesn't mean you have to take it down. It means at that point, I think it's the second line. Like, let's say you purchased it, but you're not ready to start your new business. Just make sure it's that opaque. You can flip the sign around or whatever, just to make sure that it's an opaque
That there's no
covering. But you don't have to leave the old words up. You don't have to take the sign down.
well, no, but if an abandoned sign is prohibited and is a violation,
Right. Abandoned
once
means-
it becomes abandoned, then it's abandoned.
But abandoned doesn't mean if that opaque sign's in there, it's not considered abandoned. You have remember we went to the definition last time. As long as you
It could take a sign company 6 months to make a sign, or 7 months to make a sign, but they can cover with an opaque figure and they're fine.
it's not considered abandoned.
Right, and then
If it's broken or empty, there's no
Keep it 6
Well,
months.
hold on, because
change it. Yeah.
and maybe I'm reading this wrong, but it says, I'm going to read this again. Permanent on-site signs applicable to a business temporarily suspended because of change in ownership or management shall not be deemed to be abandoned unless the property remains vacant for a period of 6 consecutive months or more. And then it says, during that time, during the 6 months, the owner shall maintain the signs required by its chapter and shall replace or cover the copy related to prior business with an opaque covering, ensuring that all internal fixtures of the sign remain covered. That's talking about during the 6 month period. After the 6 months, it's abandoned, and it sounds like to me it needs to be taken down.
Let me read this versus the definition real quick. And the
So what you're
definition-
saying is just it does say 6 months.
Yeah, sounds like after 6 months you got to.
But it's only the sign, not the poles and stuff, not the structure, just the signage itself. So would it really be a problem to remove the signage?
Well, the sign would include the pole in that
Oh,
case.
it does. Oh.
Okay, so your first line is telling you abandoned signs are prohibited per the chapter, which we've already established that there's a definition of abandoned sign. The second line is telling you permanent on-site signs applicable to a business that's temporarily suspended because of a change of ownership or management will not be deemed abandoned unless the property remains vacant for a 6 month consecutive period or more. During that time, the owner shall maintain the signs required by the chapter. And the opaque covering needs to be there. So it's not, it's the same, you're saying that, so the first sentence is just saying abandoned signs aren't allowed, period. Abandoned signs are per the definition of how you define it in your code. The next thing it's conveying is a permanent on-site sign for a business is temporarily suspended because of ownership. If it remains vacant for the 6 months or more, that is going to be, if you keep that opaque covering in there, you're not abandoned. Like it's kind of giving you two separate thoughts to me. I don't think it's saying that if it's change of ownership and it's 6 months and 1 day, boom, you're abandoned. If you're following the opaque covering, you're not considered abandoned because you're following what it's asking you to follow. That's the way I read it, but I can change it however you guys want it. And it doesn't have to be 6 months. Some places do 90 days, some
I
places
don't
do a
read it
year.
like that, Nancy. I read it like 6 months, and during that 6 month time, if you don't you have to maintain it.
Yeah.
But it still limits it to 6 months. And
Yeah.
even if you have a business, let's just say you have a certain type of business there.
Yeah.
It's a 2-year period before they'll actually change the zoning variance on that if there is a special exception or something on it. Where we resort back to whatever the original or whatever the surrounding areas are. I think at a bare minimum, it should be 2 years. But I'm kind of with you, Eric. I think we got to protect the property owner's interest on that sign that they've got there
Yeah,
somehow.
what I would think is that as long as you're maintaining it, you cover the copy or whatever you need to do to maintain the sign, it would never be abandoned. As long as you're taking care of it, it's not abandoned. You may hold your property for 5-6 years or whatever and eventually sell it, and that sign then gets used. But as long as you're maintaining it,
And you have language somewhere, I don't know if we addressed that last time about maintenance and what that means, and not maintaining.
Right.
So this could reference what that means.
Yeah.
You know, you can change the time frame, but maybe reference back to, but it has to be maintained per
Yeah.
this code.
I mean, think about a McDonald's sign, right? That and there's no longer a McDonald's there, right? If you still got that big golden arches there, you got a problem because it's not a McDonald's, right?
Like
But now
some
with a regular sign, it may say Bob's Widget Pass, and that your store closes. All you got to do is blank it out or whatever, and then it's just a benign sign at that point.
Well, Sun Cruise is still up.
Yeah, that'd be a banned sign
So
for sure.
now they're in the variance of the other catch signs. So now they got too many signs on their property that they own. And that should be taken down. Sun Cruise sign should be taken down.
Yeah, I think if you got a sign on your business and it's been 6 months and the business closed and you aren't, blanking it out or doing what you need to do, then you're abandoned. But as long as you're take care.
So you want to keep the 6 months for if the opaque sign's not put in there, if it's not maintained that way. I mean, you're okay with the sign staying up as long as it's maintained, but keeping the opaque covering. 6 months shouldn't apply to that. Do you want to make a time frame for that, or could that?
I mean, 6 months seems reasonable if somebody closes the business to take care of their sign, to get it taken off there. I think it just needs to be reworded to basically do that instead of what it's reading to me and Chris anyway, is that it's
6
like
months now.
you got to take care of it within 6 months. So, which almost sounds like that as soon as the business leaves, you would need to take it off there.
Okay. I think I understand. I'll rewrite it.
I think that the requirement could shorten for how long they have to take the sign down. I mean, 6 months, that's an awful long time once you've closed a business to finally get to taking care of the outward appearance of it.
Yeah,
the
well,
sign. So you could shorten that and then just extend the signage
I usually see 90 days
as long as
120
maintained.
days.
So 3 months.
Fine.
4 months. That's the most
Yeah.
common I see is 90 and
6
120.
months. You give them that long and they might forget about it and they'll be gone and then the city's dealing with it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have necessarily a problem with doing 3 months.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know. I've never been in a position where I need to close down a business and
Right.
take care of a sign. So,
That's
It
pretty-
seems like moving out.
Chris, what do you think about the time frame, Chris,
part
on
of moving
sign?
out.
Is 6 months too long? 3 months enough?
I think when a business leaves or they go out of business, they should either turn the sign inside out or cover it, like they did down there in 19, where they put the for sale sign on.
Right.
The for sale sign's been on that building there for probably close to a year now.
Yeah.
It's not for sale, and nobody's ever done anything with it. But I think if a business leaves, they should be required to, within a very reasonable amount of time. I don't think 6 months. I think that's too long.
Okay.
They should either cover it or they should turn the frames around where it's just flat, blanked out.
What you think? 3 months is reasonable, or is that too aggressive?
Say it again.
3 months aggressive, or is that about right?
I think 2 months is fine as far as turning it around.
3 is what we.
And I think as long as they maintain it, we need to give it long runway to give them an opportunity to get somebody else in there.
What about 3? 3 is what we're kind of talking about, not 2. I don't be too aggressive. It takes time to get anything done. I mean, as you know.
I think 3 months is reasonable.
Yeah.
Okay, so 3 months and then reword it so it doesn't.
As long as you're maintaining it, there's.
And reword it so that it doesn't read the way you guys read it right now.
More clarified.
Yep.
For Monica and crew.
I will do my best. And you'll let me know if I'm wrong. And we'll come back.
I'm sure you'll do fine.
Oh, thank you.
All right, 121-8 signs on right of way. So this is an interesting topic here. So we step through this. So we got A, allowance of certain signs. Signs in subsection may be erected in the rights of way within the city, and basically government signs, traffic control devices. I don't think there's any issues there. B, prohibition of all other signs on the right of way.
Well, that's kind of a given.
Well, so this is very interesting. We talk about, just to say, election signs. So the right of way, and I'll give you my example on Green Street. There were some issues in the last election with signs being in the right of way. So down Green Street, for me to put an election sign in, it has to be all the way back. Like I think it was 10 foot in my property.
Sometimes 12.
Yeah. So, and again, there's no sidewalks there. And that's kind of what the right of way is there for, is if they ever want to put sidewalks in or whatever, they have the space or whatever. But, you know, the property owner maintains the yard. They cut the grass. They're responsible for all that. It just seems odd that you couldn't put a sign there. Now, right on the road, probably a problem, but do you really need to set it 10 foot back? And that could go for, you know, it's a garage sale sign or any kind of thing. So it seems somewhat restrictive.
I think I hear that, and I think the other things to keep in mind, though, I think part of it is a safety issue. You don't want too many signs that may be right up,
Right.
you know,
Mhm.
and blocking views. And also, you know, if this is my house, that's my right of way. Let me put my sign out there. But if I can put a sign in a right of way, what keeps me from putting my sign in your right of way? Or, you know, and that, you know, it's still the right of way.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So my neighbor across the
Yeah.
street puts it in my.
Yeah, you have
my sign.
your let's use a campaign sign. We have your sign, and your neighbor puts your opponent's sign, like in your yard, but it's the right of way, so it's at your yard for that argument.
So
That's why
how
right
can,
of way signs just aren't allowed.
how can you distinguish the right of way within your property boundary? Could
You should know. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for the purpose of the code, that's what I think you'd have,
Right.
you'd have to
Right.
be very.
Utility
Utility
sign.
poles.
Huh?
Usually the utility poles line it up, but you're saying a lot of it's under.
well, right, but what she was saying is technically that right of way goes on both sides. So if you live across the street from me, if you just say right of way, you could take that as any right of way
Right.
along
Any
there.
right
I
away.
mean, the idea is they're having a garage sale. You might want to put your garage sale sign in the right, and your front of your house, which happens to be in the right of way, so it's close enough to the street so everyone can see it. But it doesn't stop me from putting that sign in someone else's front yard in the right of way of that yard.
But the right of way is it looked at as still? I mean, it's still part of that lot.
I mean, that's what maybe you can.
You're expected to maintain it,
Yeah,
even though
maybe
it's city property.
limit it to, like,
The city wants to
within-
have it both ways. We own it, but you have to maintain
Yeah.
it.
Right.
some kind of language within the parcel that you own.
Could be the government.
Yeah, I think within the context of what you own, if there's any right of way, you're allowed to put a sign as long as it doesn't
Well,
be within 5 feet of the road.
election signs are only supposed to be so big. They're supposed to be 18 by 24 or garage sale sign.
How's that?
Like a temporary sign like that, you can put that in there, but that's just a temporary small, like a garage sale
Right.
sign.
Yeah, nothing permanent for sure. This is more along the lines of temporary signs.
Yeah, no bigger than 24 by 18 or.
Say you're having a party, birthday party or something. You
Right.
want to tell people where you're at. I mean, you don't want to set it so far off the road that they can't see where you're at. So, and again, it doesn't hurt anything.
Is a election sign considered a government sign?
No.
Not at all. Okay.
No.
Could we just add election sign to the 1, 2, 3 and put a limitation on it?
Well, I think temporary signs would be you'd call it to cover everything.
Lost dog, it could
Yeah.
be a
Yeah,
lost.
Yeah, I
I think the garage sale's a good idea. You can buy them at Home Depot and you can put them out there, but
I know realtors put
Well,
signs out there.
Well,
all the time.
your real estate sign,
Yeah.
another example.
Yeah.
So I think you can have temporary signs with the right of way. Now, if we decide to do that, but how far off the road? Because I don't want to.
So what are you thinking? Half of that? 5?
I think 5 foot is reasonable.
Then, like Nancy said, people could put signs in your right of way that
Well,
you're
it
required
would be,
we're going to try to create language that
You
addresses
will.
that.
yeah, you still have to, yeah, just to say it
Okay.
has to be within your. And obviously, I would need permission to put a sign in your right of way.
Okay.
So you still have your property boundary.
Okay.
No bigger than 2 by 2 or
Is there
24
nothing
square
in
feet.
legal language that says something about the?
This is pretty common language, actually. No signs in right of way.
Yes, very.
But I mean, is there nothing about right of way and on your property? I mean, that it's not your right of way, even though it's on your property.
Right.
Right.
And it's not. I'm not finding the right words, but you know what I'm saying. It's on your property that it should be restricted to. You're maintaining it. The neighbor's not maintaining it.
Right.
It's a right of way, but you're the one maintaining it. There should be some other tie to that is nobody else can access the right of way on your personal.
Yeah, I think
And that's what I'm trying.
rights of way within your personal
That's
property.
right.
If Eric's my property, I want him to maintain. I don't want to maintain. It's up to you to pick it up when someone runs it over.
Right.
I'm going to try to draft language.
Chris, you had something?
Yes, I do. The right-of-way easement is your property. You're paying taxes on it. They just have the ability to come on there if they want to do some utility work or run something in there or service something or run a sewer line, but it's still your property you're paying taxes on. So I think you have the authority to grant somebody else. I mean, if Christine was running for office and she wanted to put a sign in my right-of-way, I should be allowed to say, yes, you can put a sign in my right-of-way. And I think 5 feet off the road is a reasonable distance. I don't think something, 20 or 30 feet off the road or so far back in somebody's carport is a reasonable amount.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to election signs. Elections matter, and people who want to win elections get out there and aggressively put signs up.
I don't know how commonplace it is in this city, but I share a right of way with my neighbors. I have this really crazy situation where the neighbors own property in front of my home, and so we share a right of way. Is that common throughout the city? Do others have that, or is that just me?
Um, It's not uncommon, but
Okay.
it's not very common.
Okay. Do we need to build anything in for those rare cases where you share a right of way?
Well, if you
Okay.
share right away,
Say where
That
my
wouldn't-
mailbox is.
that wouldn't-
That's shared right of way, basically, because
It's half and
We-
half.
yeah, we both.
Half one neighbor, half the other neighbor.
That wouldn't
Is that
affect
divided
anything,
by a
though, would
road?
it? Nancy? That wouldn't affect anything, though, would it?
I'd have to see what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
who
We'll
maintains
have
it?
to see what we mean by
We both
shared.
do. They maintain the little strip. But, I mean, they'll mow it sometimes. I mow it. Sometimes my mailbox is on it. So we share the maintenance of it, really.
Whose property boundary is it though?
It's the river, and then it's the neighboring property owns that waterfront in front of my home, and then
And the shared right of way is on the other side of the road.
where my mailbox is, yeah. So there's a strip, 8 feet, something like that.
Yeah, but the
For
road goes through it, so your property boundary probably just goes to the
mine,
road.
kind of it goes into the road.
So it goes across the road to that,
My boundary goes into the road.
right?
hmm So I wouldn't have it right of way at all.
They should
Yeah, probably not.
So I shouldn't mow around my mailbox.
Well, that's
That's a
interesting.
really
They should write
really
a song about your
convoluted
neighborhood.
situation. It is crazy, but I mean, I have to maintain it because they,
So it really sounds
they
like your-
maintain their
Sounds like
strip.
your mailbox is
But I maintain the area where my mailbox is
Yeah.
and up to their strip.
that's probably technically their property where your mailbox is, I guess.
No, that's the right of way. My mailbox is on the right
Well,
of way.
right, but within whose boundary? It sounds like your boundary only goes.
I
somewhere
would
in the
not
road.
have a right of way then. Mine goes into the road and then I don't have one.
Well, it's probably right away that extends into her yard.
She would have half, and then the neighbor would have half.
That's how it was explained to me.
No, that's
I'll have to look at that, like a drawing probably
Right.
to completely
Yeah,
comprehend it. Yeah, so I can. But we'll. Yeah, if that's not
So if-
uncommon, we'll need to address
If
it if
there
we're
are,
going to change
yeah,
this.
just if there are others, if it's just me, then just what it is, what it is. I'm not going to worry about it. Come election time, they'll be putting all of these crazy signs out there, and I'll have to look at them. But I've looked at worse.
well. I don't want to say, and we keep using election signs. Temporary signs. I mean,
Yeah.
birthday parties, whatever. You're having a party for some kind, or you're having a garage sale. It's any temporary sign that you want to put on your property, even if it's part of the right of way within your property, as long as it's
Right.
not impeding with.
And realtor signs are business, and we want to be business friendly.
Right. Yeah.
Any exception should definitely go to a realtor.
Mhm.
I'm really not concerned as far as out in front of my property. So if I am a one-off, this is not a thing. But I'm just saying if there are a lot of other properties that have this issue, then it might be something that needs to be
Yeah.
looked at.
Any other things on item B? I don't think there's anything else to see. Okay, they just talks about who owns it and whatever. Okay. 121-9 on-site signs, permit required. Okay, so these are the signs that are on a particular property and require a permit. The general regulations, space requirement found section, this shall be measured from leading edge of sign structure. Okay. We took off the illuminated signs.
And just, you know, we took that off because you have a whole new section
Right.
dedicated to digital and all that stuff, so.
For purposes of commerce with right-of-way setback regulations, any property owner who has an on-site sign which was made non-conforming in regards to required setbacks from the right-of-way by governmental right-of-way acquisition shall not be required to comply. I think it's okay. And again, these are not temporary; these are permanent. So we wouldn't want permanent signs in the right-of-way. And then signs shall not be placed in the clear sight triangle. I think it goes without saying. So, and then B, standards for on-site signs in residential districts. You have 1 double-faced or 2 single-faced permanent subdivision signs may be located at each entrance to a platted subdivision, provided that all following requirements are met. Signs should not create a physical or visual hazard. Pedestrians, motorists, okay. Individual firm, partnership, association, corporation, or other legal entity other than the city shall be designated as a person responsible for the perpetual maintenance. Each sign service should not exceed 10 foot in height and 40 square feet in sign service area. In single face, the 2 signs shall be located on opposite sides of the entry drive. 1 additional subdivision sign may be placed at each terminus or farthest edge of the subdivision if located at 1,000 feet from the main subdivision sign up to a maximum of 2. Have we had any issues with any subdivisions going in where they were asking for variances or anything like this? Seemed like it's okay. Okay. Number 2, one wall sign or 1 double-faced or 2 single-faced ground identification signs may be located at each entrance to a multiple family residential development or mobile home park, provided that all the following met. So it's pretty much the same thing, other than these are on the wall of the structure, I guess, or on like a wall outside the subdivision. It's not freestanding.
Yeah, I think so.
Shall not exceed 2 dwelling unit up to including 16 units. In no event shall the sign exceed 32 square feet. Not exceed 10 feet in height. Back 5 feet right away, 20 feet from the intersection. Okay. Anything there? Number 3, 1 directional sign per subdivision entrance with maximum height of 5 feet for the structure, 12 inches for the copy, and 13 square feet for the sign area. Number 4, illuminated signs.
So 4 is what was in the general regulations for number 2. And I misspoke before. We moved it to number 4, we being planning zoning, moved it to number 4 under this section because this is just about residential areas. And obviously now you want to talk about letting signs in non-residential that have illumination. So that's why we didn't want it. I don't want that to be a general regulation because then that would be the conflict.
Right.
So it's the same language, just moved to a different location.
And that talks about how bright it can be.
Yes.
And this is residential.
Yes, this is in residential. This is the residential signs at the front, right?
Yeah, and so this would include our address things, right? Illuminated signs, including neon signs, should not produce more than 1 foot candle of illumination 4 feet from the sign. When measured from the base of such sign, exposed neon tubing should not be permitted. So
I would say yes. We can actually say that to make it clear that this could include the address signs, or the address sign we talked about earlier could reference this section so that they're paired up.
Right.
That's the way
That'll
to
work.
do it.
yeah, I don't. So it sounds like they need to be permitted.
Yeah.
Wow.
So illuminated or not, I don't think your address needs to be permitted.
You know, you just order those off Amazon and they come, you put it on your mailbox and it's illuminated. You need a permit for that?
Yeah, I think we.
He says no.
So I think what we need to
All right.
back up in that other section when we get to it, we would exclude illuminated addresses.
But maybe use this
But,
detail.
yeah. Signs that correspond to this don't need permits if they're address, something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think any other illuminated sign you'd have residential, it probably would have some kind of permit for other than the address.
Yeah. So I think that if I'm following up, leave this here for anything else that someone might think of to put in a residential area. Exclude address numbers, address signs,
Right.
and then where we talked about that, make sure it references.
Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking standards for on-site signs in non-residential districts. On-site signs on properties in non-residential districts which abut a residential district shall not be erected closer than 10 feet from any residential zoning district. Finished materials should be consistent with those used on a structure to which sign relates. So it looks like there's a little, if you abut a residential, you got a little bit of buffer area there, 10 foot. Number one, regulations for ground signs. Ground signs shall be allowed. These specific thing, one ground sign permitted for each parcel. And see, I think this is where we get in talking about the Walmart and the menu signs, right? Where you're restricted on how many you can have. Not Walmart, but like McDonald's and drive-through stuff.
I would think so, yeah.
So it says one ground sign permitted for each parcel having frontage on a public street. If a parcel has public street frontage in excess of 300 feet, one additional ground sign shall be permitted for each additional 300 feet of public street frontage. So this is specifically calling out the street frontage signs, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then go to B. The maximum allowable sign structure, each area ground sign shall not exceed 1 square foot for each linear foot of frontage. Okay. C. No ground sign shall exceed 11 feet in height. D. If a parcel is entitled to more than one sign or subsection C1A of the section and it is a multiple occupancy parcel, then all allowable ground signs may be combined into a single ground sign, not to exceed 300 square feet of sign structure. I think this is what you kind of talked about earlier, Bob, about having multiple businesses.
Yeah, they look really nice.
Yeah.
Very professional.
Such a combined sign may not exceed 15 feet in height. The combined sign may be divided into two signs if the frontage of the parcel exceeds 1,500 foot. So every combined sign shall not exceed 300 square foot in sign structure and height not to exceed 15. And E, ground signs should be placed no closer to 300 feet apart on the same parcel. F, all ground signs shall be set back 5 feet from the right-of-way line and 20 feet from the intersection of the rights-of-way.
Isn't E the same? Sorry to interrupt. Isn't E the same as A?
Let's say it can't be placed no closer. This is if you have multiple signs.
They're both 300 feet apart.
One ground sign permitted. So I think what you're saying here on A is you can have one ground sign per 300 feet of frontage, and what E is basically saying if you do qualify for multiple signs, they can't be closer than 300 feet from each other. So if you have 600 foot, you can't put two signs right together. One would have.
Oh, okay. I see the difference. Yeah, because A does say if you have 600 feet, you can have two signs, right? And E is
Okay,
I
right
got
next to
you.
each other.
How close, yeah.
At first, it looked the same.
All ground sign. Okay, setbacks. You know, it's as we go through this out, it's hard to visualize these. Kind of giving some credence to the code that was out here that people have looked at this and it makes sense. So I'm not going to.
And remember, what's in black is what you had. So
Right.
it should be what you're seeing, what
Yeah.
you're used to.
I think we
So
should have
maybe-
For the most part.
I don't think we dig too
Read
deep
your
into
eye
that.
level.
Number two, regulations for wall signs. Again, I think the same type thing. It's just if they're on a wall. Three, regulations for projecting signs. Projecting signs shall be allowed in non-residential districts, provided that the following specific regulation. So this is different from the residential because residential didn't have projecting signs, right?
Right.
So we've got that category here. Projecting signs may be substituted for the permitted wall sign referenced in subsection C2 section, provided the sign structure area of the projection sign is not greater than the maximum sign structure area permitted for a wall. Shall not project more than 4 feet from the building. Projection signs shall not be located above the roof line of the building, nor more than 18 feet. So this is an interesting one. So the roof line is where the roof starts, correct? So what I envision here is, say you've got an A roof, right? And you've got your sign is on the roof, but you got to, it's right up against the roof at the bottom, but you got to project it out from the top, so it's, you're looking right on it.
Roof line is the top of the roof line. So you put it up there saying 18 feet above the top of the roof, but I don't know you want to go that high.
The roof line's the top of the roof?
Yeah, that's the roof line.
What? Is that right? Where's roof line? Is it the bottom or the top?
The roof line is at the top.
So this is just talking about things above the
Above
roof.
the roof.
Okay.
Right, so Crab Shack could put like a backlit or neon sign all along the top of their roof. 18 feet high. Don't want that. I'm saying, 4 or 5 feet's plenty. And you would
Like
see,
the one on Rum River on the side,
right,
like that. It's on the roof.
yeah,
Well, it's on the roof. So is that, let's see.
And there's a roof sign, which is different than a projecting sign.
Oh, it says
Roof signs
shall
actually
not be located above the roof line, so they
So does the
couldn't.
roof line, even if it projects, is not?
Shall
I
not
don't
be
know what
above
it
the
is. I don't
roof
know.
line,
But
nor
listening to
more
them,
than
if the roof
18
line's the
feet
top,
above the
I
grade
think
of
this
the
is just
street.
Oh, okay.
how
So
high,
they could
How
how high from the building.
And it would be the highest roof line too, correct? Because there are different
Yeah,
roof
I don't
lines.
think you're ever gonna exceed that. I don't think that's.
I don't think you would
it's
either.
18 feet above the grade of the street.
it's a 2-story building,
Yeah.
but you could do like 4 or 5 feet above the roof line, period.
Yeah.
And doesn't matter how big
But
the
a building
building
could have different roof lines, so if it's at the if there are 2 roof lines, you just
Right.
can't have it above the roof line.
And generally,
whichever
if they're
side.
smart, they're going to put it on the side of the building instead of the top, so it's at eye level again.
If there's anything I would change would be the 18 feet above the grade of the street, and then just move it to the roof line, so many feet, whatever feet you decide above the roof line.
So you want
Or
to
that
do,
two-story
yeah.
building that you may have.
So,
Instead of from the street,
It may
Sure.
exceed the 18
Yeah.
feet of the grade of the street, you know what I mean?
right?
yeah, so I'm just pulling some definitions here because it's, I think
Yeah, did you see-
it's more complex than just top or bottom. It says,
What she said made sense.
the term roof line has 2 main meanings. It can refer to the profile or outline of a roof on a building or vehicle, or it can refer to the collective components like fascias, soffits, and gutters that finish the edges of the roof.
We have a definition. I'm sorry.
Oh, we do have.
I'm so sorry. I should have looked here first.
Well, that's roof sign, not roof line. Oh,
Roof,
roof line,
yeah.
okay.
Doesn't mean we have to keep it, but
Okay,
you do
good.
have a definition. So sorry. Roof line means the top edge of roof or parapet, whichever forms the top line of the building silhouette when viewed from ground level.
Okay, so that's the top.
Yeah.
The top, like Bob said.
I just got a different explanation for roof line. And
Well, wait,
roof
well,
line
it doesn't
is
matter which-
the perimeter where the walls are of the property all the way around.
Well, so
That's considered the roof line.
So, Chris, our code actually spells out what our definition of roof line is. It says it's a top. That doesn't mean we don't change that, but
Right now it's the top.
right now it's the top of the
edge
roof.
Of the roof or parapet. Parapet.
That makes sense?
Yeah, I was just giving you a different.
Yeah, no, there are different definitions. That's correct. But the one that would apply to our specific code referencing roof lines will be what we have in the code, which is so.
So basically, it's got to fit within the angle of the roof, and it can't be taller than the roof. Is that correct?
It can go 18. Let's see. Projecting signs shall not be located above the roof line of the building. Okay, so not at all. So it can't be above the top. Of the building, no more than 18 feet above the grade of the street, whichever is less.
I'm saying change it.
So if yes,
That part.
so say the sign can be as high as the building height.
Yeah, because you may have a 2-story building.
Yeah.
Right, and so you're gonna exceed that 18 feet above the grade of the roof, right?
Right.
And so change it to just however many feet you decide above the building or above the roof line or at the roof line.
So each building would be treated differently based on the
Correct.
building height.
Right, because if it's
Yeah.
a single story or a
Right.
2-story or a 3-story, it's going to be a totally different.
Yeah,
thing.
I think you still probably have to, because you wouldn't want a little short building with let's say you have a 20-foot building and then you have a 52-foot sign on top of it, right? You would want that.
Oh, no.
So you probably need to limit how high your sign can be.
Yeah. It's still above the roof line, or you're
But
just
you have
changing
above,
it.
right.
You're just changing that from the grade of the street to the roof line. We're not talking
how
about
many
from the
feet we're
street
willing
anymore.
to go, which
We're
would
just
stagger signs.
narrowing it down to the roof line, but leaving out the part from the street because all buildings are different heights.
I think you're making a good point, though. I think with Steve, you can take out the 18 above grade if you want to, but I think what you're saying is even if you leave that it can't go above the roof line, you don't have another criteria. You could have
A big old
a
sign.
big sign
On top of your
a
roof.
little
Well, and
building.
Put that definition in there, no bigger than,
Right.
I'm thinking like the big Beetlejuice sign. That,
No heart.
yeah. And just limit the sign, 24 square feet or whatever it is you decide,
what's our max sign height for the 12 foot, 15 foot? Yeah, I think 15 is what's.
15 is the biggest I see.
Yeah, so you can basically project above your roof within the height setback, as long as your sign doesn't exceed 15 foot in height. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Any comments on that?
Say it again, please.
So basically, let's say that you have a 72-foot height restriction. Okay, if you build your building to the 72 foot, you can't have any sign above that. But if you're less than 72 foot, you can have a sign that takes up that space from the top of your building to the limit, as long as the sign doesn't exceed 15. So if you have a little short property, you can't take your sign, let's say like 20-foot building, you can't have a 52-foot sign height.
But this is just in relation to projecting
Projecting,
signs, right?
You're projecting above the roof line in this case.
Oh, okay. So I was looking at projecting signs, and they're entirely different than what we're discussing.
Right. Well, those are lights.
I was asking for examples of projecting signs, and what I'm seeing is those are signs that.
Well, right, we're on C of that code, which
Right,
project signs shall
right.
not be located above the roof line. So we're saying we're going to allow that.
Well, something like sometimes they like the theater one that first pops up over
That's
here
the
that
one,
does project above the
Right.
roof line,
This one doesn't project.
and that one.
That's what I'm
projects
saying.
outwards. But
These
some
are
of them that are stuck to the side of the building also project above the roof line.
Well, that's what right now your code doesn't let you go above that roof line the way it's written.
Well,
That's projecting.
that sign is a separate sign. Is that on the building?
It's stuck out with those poles stuck to the building. See right there, the black.
Yeah,
black
that's a
and black.
projecting sign too, but it's not like
See,
that.
there's a connector, there's a connector, and there's a connector, and then it projects over the top of the building. So
Open that up.
see, it has these. It's stuck
Oh,
to the
it's
building.
attached to the sign
Yeah,
there.
and projects above. So that's what I was thinking. They might. We might be. I don't know.
So she has a picture of a building where there's two braces and the sign is like, it's almost like a pole sign, but it's attached to braces and it's going up and it goes above the roof line.
Right.
we don't allow that.
Right now your code doesn't allow you to go above the roof line the way it's written.
That's what I'm saying, and if you're going to allow it, give it a certain.
Heights.
You want to limit.
Yeah.
put
So
a
what's that?
limit to what you're gonna allow.
Right.
above the roof.
Right. Say 5 feet, 6 feet, whatever. Or you can do a variance.
Okay, here's my
32 square
drawing.
feet.
Give them numbers.
Here's my
Well, I
drawing. So
understand. It's
here's
very-
the building.
Very good. No, I understood.
Here's the sign,
Yeah.
and the sign is projecting above the building,
Yeah.
but it's actually stuck to the building, so it's projecting.
On our pole signs, how high can those go? Just out of curiosity.
Our pole signs,
Yeah.
how high can they
Well,
go?
Well,
I guess we
they were not allowed.
They were not allowed before, but
They're still not allowed currently,
Yeah.
but
what's our sign? Do we have a sign height?
I can't answer that. I'm not looking.
Um,
Let me see if I can easily find an answer. non-residential districts, maximum sign height is 20 feet.
20 foot.
Yes, and maximum sign structure area is 300 square feet, if you need to know that.
And that's just a freestanding sign, right? That's not
It's all-
attached to a roof.
This is applying, the way it's written right now, it's a minimum criteria for all signs in the city.
So basically, if your roof is above 20 foot, you technically couldn't have a.
Well, this would tell you could, as long as it didn't.
Right, but as of right now. So
Well,
we-
no, no, I mean, I wouldn't read it that way. I would say, well, yeah, possibly.
Because like Rum River, for instance, their sign's up on the thatching, isn't it? I'm sure it's above 20 foot.
And it's way above 20.
I would say that the way it's written now, if it doesn't say something different somewhere else in the code, your maximum is 20 feet. There are other provisions within the code that perhaps allow you to go higher than that.
They've got a really unique roof though, so I don't know how that plays into
And they
the
may
whole
be
story.
a roof sign, because you can have a roof sign, which is probably going to be start higher than 20 feet because it's on top of the building. So that would,
It is
that
on
would
the building. It is attached to the building.
Yeah.
But it's really it's really a unique roof too, in that there are different levels and it's not, it's the only one like it in the city.
I think probably the easiest way to address it would be to allow you to go to your height setback max, and that you can't project above your roof more than X number of feet, whether that's 15 or 20 or 5. And if I think of the sign on the roof, and if our signs can be 15, I don't think you're going higher than 15, and maybe that's too much. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm thinking 6.
We want,
Normal height for allowed for a sign above a business, normal for most cities. A storefront sign, 10 to 15 above ground level.
Hooters.
so if it was saying if it was on the ground,
like a normal average
So you would-
sign.
you would just replicate that on top of the roof.
Storefront sign typically placed. It says most. That's what I said. Most. What's typical?
Hey, Chris. Chris, can you hear me?
Yes, if somebody go ahead.
Hey, your Auto Credit Nation banner. What's the height of that? Do you know?
Excuse me.
You're on mute.
You talking the ones on the building?
Yeah, one's on the building.
I don't know the exact height on it, Eric. I could find out.
Probably about 15 feet.
You think it's that tall? Maybe 10 actually. 10
On
feet.
the side of the building, right?
What's on the front? I'm just thinking.
Yeah, between 8 and 12, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think 15 is too much. I wouldn't want to go more than that.
Is it on the top of the roof or is it?
The roof. I'm thinking more along the lines of the size of it as I visually drive down the road, what I can see. If you get too small, you can't tell what it is. It's
Well,
ineffective, right? So
I
Too high,
think
you
too
can't
small is
see it
a
either.
problem in the fact that if somebody is driving looking for a business or whatever and it's too small, if it's bold, you see it.
Yeah.
And if it's not, you're searching.
right. And if you think of the Newport Richey street sign, I don't know how tall those are, but
You mean the
I mean,
wayfinding
you're-
signs?
In
Yeah,
a situation like our building there, the building is 3 feet on a pedestal, basically before the building starts. So would you be measuring from the parking lot or from the pedestal?
no, I'm trying to figure out what limiting factor of a sign coming off of the roof, how high you can go. And obviously, you got to think too that the sign's not going to sit right on the roof. You're going to have some kind of, you're going to lift it up a little bit, which would be included in that. So I think 15 foot probably is a good number. Would be my guess.
How tall are these ceilings?
These are probably
8 feet, 10 feet.
oh no, they're
They're way more.
Oh, there's about 12.
12.
These?
So what's in a 2-story building? Our building.
Probably about
The
10
door
feet.
would be 7
Right.
something.
the conversation is you by your building height setback.
Probably about 6 feet.
But if
4,
No, 10 feet.
4 feet, so probably about 10 feet.
And so an additional half.
I don't know if this helps or not. When you look at, and we're talking about the projecting sign, when you look at roof signs, your code limits the roof sign. Says a roof sign is part of the structure for purposes of determining the height of the structure for zone. I guess that was, I was thinking that was talking about the sign itself. Forget.
Yeah, so they're basically saying it's included within the
I've read
height.
it back.
Yeah.
I had it backwards.
I was looking for a
Reading out loud makes it
definition
different.
of a projecting sign, and there is no definition.
We have one.
We do. What is that?
Yep, it is. Let me find it. Sign which is attached to or which projects from the outside wall of any building or structure excludes wall signs.
Okay, so that is.
So if it projects from the roof, it's not,
That's a roof sign.
and a roof sign,
And your roof sign, by definition, sign erected, constructed, or maintained on the roof of any building above the eaves or above mansards, parapets, or other similar architectural features of buildings or structures which are capable of supporting signs. A roof sign is part of the structure for purposes of determining the height.
so really the roof, so it doesn't look like this projecting sign doesn't apply to a roof sign. Roof sign could be above.
Two different things.
This just says if it's
This is
not
gonna be-
on the roof, but
It's only-
projecting above
right,
the roof.
right.
This only applies to an instance
Like
like,
that.
this.
It's attached
Yeah.
to the wall but projects out.
Right.
And so right now you're letting it be attached to the wall, projecting out, but only going to the roof line,
Right, so you
where
wouldn't want
you wanted
15
to
feet
now
here.
allow it to go a little
What's that?
You
higher.
wouldn't want 15 feet here.
Yeah.
This thing to be sticking 15 feet in the air above the roof line. You could probably, probably
Yeah.
6 feet or something.
At 8
Well, 15 foot isn't that much.
And it's bigger than that. It's higher than that
What about
wall
airplanes?
above the top of the building. If it was attached to the wall, so you're also talking about all that weight. That could be a building code issue
Well, you
of
still-
the weight stuck on the wall.
It still has to
other
be
variables.
engineered so it doesn't blow off
Right,
a hurricane and
I
all these
know.
different things,
I know.
right?
And I'll just very quickly, that little Google I just did to try to find a height thing, everywhere I found, they don't allow it above the roof line. Projecting signs are kept at the roof line. That was a very, as you saw, like a 10-second Google about something.
But if it's on the roof, it can go up above the roof.
The roof, whatever it said. Zoning district for height, and that the height of the sign is going to depend on the building and what your height limits are for a roof sign.
Well, we have signs that go above they're
I don't
attached to the building.
I don't have a problem with them sticking up over the top. We just have to set a limit on how far they can go. And 15 feet would be this wall and a half probably
Yeah, that's
up
10
above the
foot.
building, and that would be pretty.
That's
That,
12-foot
that
ceiling
would
here.
not be this sign. It would be a
Well,
lot different. She's saying this wall is probably 10 feet.
This is probably 10
Yeah,
feet from
yeah.
the floor to the ceiling.
Full sense. No, it's probably 15 foot. That's not.
No,
No,
this is
yeah,
maybe
Doors
12.
about 6 something, and
It's
then
10 or
another
12.
4 foot.
The
About
door
10
is about
feet.
6 feet.
Yeah, it's 11 feet.
It's 11 feet. Okay.
Yeah, because the door is 7 and then it's 4 above.
So take that, nearly double it, and that's how much you're talking about going over the building with something like this. That might be kind of a
That's
bit
big.
much.
That's too much. Yeah.
That'd be too much.
12,
probably.
10?
I'm thinking 6
6.
above the top of the roof line. I mean, that's a big sign.
That even that, if that's 10 or 11, that's,
I wonder what
that's
that one is,
a
because
lot.
that doesn't look that bad, did it?
No, but it didn't stick up that high. I would say that was.
Chris, you have any comments on?
That this looks
Above the
like
roof line?
6 feet, maybe 8. What would you say that would be? 8.
Well,
Is
6
that
foot would
above
be
the
about
top?
equal with a person standing
Yeah,
up
about
there,
that.
a tall person,
Looks like
right?
about 6 to 8 on this sign
That's
is
what
how
I'm
high
saying,
it's
yeah.
sticking up, and it looks good. This is great. Much higher than that, it could get looking pretty.
Well, why don't we say 10? A little bit more than a tall person.
Because I doubt a lot of people are even going to utilize that.
A little bit, a lot more than that.
Well, a little bit, really. So if you got a 6 foot tall person, right? It's
4 more feet in height.
4
is a
feet.
lot.
Here's a
I don't
perfect
have-
example right here.
Yeah.
That's
That's
probably
that's a roof sign.
It's a roof sign.
Yeah.
It's 6 feet. It's probably up here.
Okay.
Maybe.
Mhm.
And that's a big sign.
Yeah, it's big.
Is Chris trying to talk to us or not?
Hey, Chris, you're on mute.
I'm here. Go ahead.
Oh, I thought your lips were moving, but we weren't hearing you. You multitasking?
I have a son who's fired me up.
Okay. I want to make sure we don't miss something.
We want to listen to that.
Yeah.
Right here.
Oh, that's about
I
25 feet.
can leave my mute off. You guys can listen.
No one nothing like that.
Oh, that's
No, Ashley doesn't want that.
Ashley says no.
He says no.
All right, so I'm gonna do.
All right,
All right, give me a number.
Too big.
10, less than 10,
6.
6,
I'll compromise with 8.
8.
Eight.
8's good. I'll compromise with 8. That sounds
You can
good.
go 8 foot over the
That's-
roof line.
Yeah. I think that's great. I mean, that would take care of this sign right here.
That gives them 8 more feet than they have now. So.
Sure.
Okay.
And the sign itself, you still want the 15-foot sign. Something about 15 feet earlier. That wasn't above the roof line, or was that what you were thinking?
I don't think we need to even
8
address
feet
it.
above the, okay.
Yeah, if you
But
can't.
I think that was trying to address the not having, the sign be the whole side of the.
Yeah, well, I'm assuming in the roof sign section, there's limiting factors for that. We're not missing that, are we?
What?
The roof sign, because we've already determined that the projecting sign is not a roof. So if you can actually build the sign on top of your roof,
The height's controlled by the size of the building and the zoning area.
right? But you couldn't have that large
Right.
sign on top,
Yeah.
can you?
Well, it would have to fit on top of it. I mean, it couldn't like go over right? If it's on the top of the roof, it would have to fit.
Well, no, what I'm saying is if you have a 20-foot building and you got a 72-foot high building height, you couldn't have a 52-foot sign, could
I don't
you,
know.
on top of the roof?
We'll see. I don't remember it being
Yeah.
addressed, to be honest with you, but we'll get to it.
I'm probably giving people ideas too. Hey, wait a minute.
Yeah. You're going to get a lot of
Big old
requests
sign.
really soon.
Yeah, right.
That's what I was thinking when you brought up the thing about the easement and everybody's taking the signs. I'm like, great, now everybody's going to
Okay. So let's see. D, the sporting hardware protecting signs shall be visible from street. Protecting signs shall not be constructed in violation of public space encroachment limitations. Okay. Shall not be erected closer than 10 feet from an interior lot line or adjacent establishment. Projecting signs which project over public or private pedestrian way shall be elevated a minimum of 9 feet above such pedestrian way. Projecting signs which project over any public or private street shall be elevated a minimum of 15 feet. Good. 4, marquee, canopy, and awning signs.
Sarah, can you clarify to me what you're on?
We're on top of page 27. Item number 4.
Okay, thank you.
Marquee, canopy, and awning signs shall be allowed in non-residential districts provided the following regulations met. They have one sign located on a marquee, canopy, or awning shall be affixed flat to the surface and shall not rise in vertical dimension above the marquee, canopy, or awning. The maximum allowable sign structure area for awning, canopy, marquee signs shall not exceed 2 square foot per linear foot of building frontage facing a public street. However, the aggregate surface area of all shapes, letters, numbers, symbols, illustrations not exceed 25% of the total area of the awning or canopy surface.
Is this a sign additionally attached to a canopy awning marquee, or is this a like on a canopy where it's printed on it?
Probably both, actually. Right, Nancy?
I mean, because you could have a canopy that
I
it's
would say yes.
printed on, or you could attach a sign to the canopy.
So this limiting factor of 25% of the total area, that seems small. What's y'all's thoughts on that? That seems
Small.
Yeah, I would agree. 25% seems small as well.
with 50%.
I think it should be 50%.
Is 50% on that?
Also, because on number C, it's permitted only in lieu of a wall sign. So if they don't even have a wall sign and they have the canopy sign, 25% would be
Yeah.
Super small.
Well, I mean, depending on, they could make it nice. I mean, I'd say 75% myself.
Yeah, I
Because
don't really
have a
have.
logo and a nice print, and it might take up 75% of it, but it's nice. You can see it.
I agree with Bob.
75%.
And I'm looking at signs right here, and like this one right here, that's 75%. It looks nice.
Yep.
You can see it.
Oh,
If it was 50%,
that was like 80, and it looks
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
nice.
that's fine.
So
easier you can see a sign.
that's definitely 75
75%.
or 80.
Chris, 75%? All right. Canopy awning signs shall be permitted only when in lieu of a wall sign. So if you have a wall sign, you can't have a canopy sign?
What's that?
I don't think that's right.
I don't either.
This is where variance comes in and total signage on a property.
If you have a canopy over your window and it has a sign on it, and then you have a little sign on the wall by your door,
Right.
I think it goes together.
You could have a sign hanging under it, and you could have a little marquee out by the road or a little ground sign out by the road. But you have to have a variance that you can't have a huge sign here, one on the roof and one on, I mean, you gotta have some kind of limitation
Could
to
you
it.
explain the variance process to Bob so he understands how that?
It's limited in your sign code. I have to find what it says. But a variance is, when you have something, when there's certain restrictions and you can't comply with that because of a special condition, a hardship. It's not a hardship that you want more than one sign or that you want to use different variations of signs. It would be a hardship that you're getting a building that already has, I don't know if this would qualify as I'm trying to off the top of my head. It's a height issue or a setback. Very common is setbacks. Maybe you have wherever you are, your setback is,
Okay.
5 feet, and you, for some reason, need the sign to be 6 foot.
The definition in Newport Richey is different.
It could be.
So,
That's all I'm saying.
Variance.
If it's different, that's fine. Well,
Variance, period, not connected to signs or setbacks or anything. The idea of a
make it easy.
variance,
total square foot, total square inches, whatever, total signage on property.
right? The idea of a
Make it
variance is the hardship. It's not
Okay.
because you want it to be different than what it is.
Yeah,
It's
so
to be something that you didn't create, and they're trying to fix that problem.
yeah,
Something unique to the property.
Yeah.
you can't just say, well, I want another sign. I apply for a variance and we can grant that. You
Right.
can't do that.
There's certain criteria that have to be met, and it's essentially it's a hardship. It's not you didn't create it. It's something that's already existing on the
Okay.
land.
All right.
That kind of thing.
But anyway, it's signage on property can't exceed so many square feet or so many square inches per the side of the property or the building or something like that. We have a lot of under 35 square feet for some, 25 for others, and that's fine. I don't know if you want to do a total property or you want to they can put signs anywhere they want as long as it meets these.
We'd have to obviously do a math problem to try to figure out what that would be, right? But each sign has its own square footage requirements, and it has limits too. Like you only have so many. You can only have one. Well, and this is a good example. On this one, if you have a wall sign, you can't have a canopy awning sign. And so, if we open that up, then you could do that, which would increase square footage. What's that?
These are my drawings.
Oh.
I'm Googling canopy sign with a wall sign example, and you can also Google examples of a canopy sign. And if you have a wall sign, say this is a building, so I try to draw it, anyway, in a canopy. If you had a wall sign here and then on this canopy you also had another sign, there's an example of one right here, and it does look kind of crazy. I couldn't think of it, but it does look kind of. Of course, it's two different surfaces, but that
Right.
does look a little bit much. But if
It's
you
kind of
look
what
at
I mean,
this,
but it's
if you look at this, see you have the sign up here in the canopy, and if
Mm-hmm.
you junked up the canopy, it would kind of take away from that. So it just depends.
or you
on,
could say you can only have a canopy sign, a roof sign, and a ground sign, but you can't have a wall sign or window sign or something like that. I don't know.
It looks like canopy signs often don't, or it looks like canopies are often on buildings that have a lot of window space,
They're like Main Street.
and then the signage would go above the canopy anyway. So after looking at, I couldn't get it in my head until I looked at it, and then I can kind of see why the code reads the way it does.
Can you make her a presenter so she can show that one cleaners sign?
This? Oh.
You gotta go to Zoom.
Oh, you didn't log into Zoom? I can probably pull it up. Hold on a second. I can do Christine.
Okay.
Well,
That
Wall
was
sign with canopy sign.
canopy sign with wall sign examples. Or just go to Signscapes. Golly, what a name. misignscapes.com. Awning signs.
MISignscapes.com.
All one word. / awning signs. But you could probably get there another way.
All one word on signs.
There's a dash in between.
Dash.
Awning dash signs.
Yeah, there it is. Okay.
Okay.
So see, it says cleaners there, and it has car service on the awning.
Well, that doesn't even make sense, so.
No, I don't.
They used the wrong picture.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it's some kind of shared building, where they're sharing their building space, but
I
don't think that's a bad example.
Yeah, I don't think it looks that bad myself, but
Because most businesses aren't gonna do that. They're gonna say something, Cooper's ice, and then below ice cream or something, it's not gonna be that. It's gonna be things to do with their business.
let me see if I can see another
it's
picture.
allowable. It could be something like that.
Here's the building here that has Serendipity, I think, and you've got also on their awnings they've got their name.
Okay. See, that doesn't look bad. It's just what can happen if you leave the allowance open. What can go wrong?
I mean, at the end of the day, you would think a business wouldn't want their business to purposely look crazy, right? So what?
You would think that about people's homes too.
Yeah,
but
no, I get that for
they
sure.
like to live
Permitting, they have to
crazy
submit
living.
what they're gonna put on the sign, and then
Well, the problem is you can't limit.
and
'cause
then
then-
the building permit looks at it and says,
Well, you let him do it, not me, and then you get a lawsuit.
Yeah, that'd be a problem. Because Veronica doesn't like it, I can't
That's
do
too
it.
much.
Yeah, right. So, I like that one, but I don't like that one. I was just trying to see if there's any other. Like even this here, this is you couldn't technically do that, right?
I think that's an issue.
Right.
That's an awning.
So you couldn't do that.
Mhm.
So by limiting it, you really you couldn't do things like that.
or you might have a sign at the top
Here's-
and maybe on the awning your phone number for the business, and
Well, that's an address, so that's okay. Let's see if there's any. Okay. Well, I mean, those are some examples.
personally, I'm okay with it.
I'm okay. I don't. I mean,
am
it's-
too. I just wanted to point out what could happen.
Yeah.
It's not that it
we
would
want to remove
happen.
subsection C.
Yeah, is it? Do you have any objection to opening that up?
None for me.
Gone.
Okay. 5 directory signs. 1 directory sign per entrance into a non-residential development or subdivision with a maximum height of 5 feet for the structure, 12 inches for the copy, 30 square foot. Colonnade signs. 1 colonnade sign per establishment may be suspended at least 9 feet above the walkway if limited to pedestrian traffic. Colonnade sign. What is?
I was wondering if anyone else knew what that meant. 'Cause I don't know.
Is that what Newport
A sign suspended below the roof of a covered walkway, perpendicular to the facade of the structure, oriented to pedestrians and identifying the premises adjacent to it. Yeah. Any pictures are helpful.
Yeah. Let's see if I get one.
Oh, jeez.
I'm not,
You got to
It was a
the right thing.
colonnade style sign.
yeah.
Still doesn't help.
Yeah, I'm not.
No, let's,
Read that again, Nancy.
anybody can put
A sign
anything on
suspended
there,
below the
whatever
roof
they want.
of a covered walkway.
Right.
So walkway
Make
that's
it-
covered, right, below the roof of that, perpendicular to the facade of the structure, oriented to pedestrians and identifying the premises.
So it's kind of like a sign you walk
Coming
under, I
out.
guess.
I'm pretty sure coming out from, as you're walking on the sidewalk, it's below the roof and the awning or the covered walkway and it's coming out from the building.
Swinging sign or
It doesn't say it's swinging,
just, okay.
but that's the way I'm reading it.
This is
So kind of if you were walking under an awning and there was a sign hanging from it, in a way.
That's how I'm
Kind
reading
of
it.
like in St. Augustine, where they have all those signs that hang down on the walkways.
And they're all kind of the same too.
see. I'm thinking
That's
it's
pretty cool.
something like here's Santa Monica Pier. If you had a building next to it or whatever, that
No.
something you walk under it.
No.
It's because it's going to be
Just imagine.
suspended below the roof of a covered walkway. That's what I'm picturing, like the sidewalk area. It's like it's covered,
Augustine has
and let's look at St. Augustine.
Well, you go down like strip centers, they got the businesses out in front of their businesses hanging from the ceiling there on the walkway. Breezeway.
Okay, Display Solutions Group.biz has colonnade signs if anybody wants to look at those.
What is it?
And they are just hanging from a piece of
Ceiling.
ceiling. They're just
What's the?
it is Displays Solutions Group.biz.
Display solution, 2 S's.
Just Display Solutions Group.biz.
I
Display
also, if you do
solutions.
quick signs in St. Augustine, it pops up because that's their sign place. That's what they do there. They're nice.
And then go to the gallery and then go to the gallery section.
Where's
Okay.
it?
Go up, go up in gallery.
Oh, so I can't see.
Very, very top.
Gallery.
And then
Yeah.
colonnade.
Colonnade. There we go.
There you go.
Oh, so it's kind of
Kind of hanging down. From
hanging down. You walk under it.
Kind of like when you go in those arcade areas.
Yeah.
That's what we called them. They were everywhere. So food courts.
So it's just a sign if you walk under. pretty
Yes,
much.
and that's why you have the height limit
Yeah.
to make sure it's.
Realistically, you want it high so people can't like smack them.
Right.
So for right now, for a walkway that's pedestrian traffic only, it has to be at least 9 feet. If it's over vehicular traffic, it has to be
Is
15.
that too high, you think, or is that good?
Is it too high?
Do you think it's too high, or
No, if you figure you're going to be on a bicycle or something like that.
A 6-foot person holding their hand up is how high?
it's about 8 feet? 8.5, depending how big your fingers are.
And it's what, 9? Did you say 9?
Yes, yeah.
So
For
9
under
should be all right.
pedestrian is 9.
Okay.
Good with that?
Mhm.
Good with that?
Digital signs, that's all been added.
Yep, and so we took, I can't remember if that was Pasco County or Newport Richey, but we took, I think it was Pasco Counties. That's where the bulk of it came from, and then planning and zoning tweaked it to try to be more in line with this, the city. Obviously.
Yeah, there's probably a couple things on here we need to address. So the dwell time, 10 seconds, that's fine. This digital display sign should not be interactive. Meaning that as I go past it, it
Changing,
does something
drawing
right.
your attention away.
So warning or danger sign, okay. Then talk about the lighting. Okay, it's all good. Brightness automatic dimmers, just so have installed and operate ambient light monitors. Light trespass from digital display should not exceed 2/10 foot candle. Can't hack it. It's really malfunctions fails. Okay, black screen if it's malfunctioning. No messages, auditory message or mechanical sounds. There was one I'm assuming you can have transition. And so if you see Newport Richey sign, some of their slides, there's effects. Does that constitute as interactive or no?
I don't know those signs specifically. Let me see if they define interactive to help us out. We don't, it's not in our code yet.
What I don't want to limit to static images
Right.
per
I
se.
think I mean, you do allow it to, you allow the messages to change.
Right.
I think there's what they again, they were 10 seconds. Dwelling
Eric,
time.
I've got a question.
Go ahead.
Under 7, where it says, therefore, temporary signs and non-conforming signs are prohibited where a digital display is installed.
What?
So if you have a
Where are you at again, Chris?
sign, I'm sorry,
Where are you at? Number 7?
I didn't understand what you said, Eric.
You said number 7, right?
Number 7 under digital signs, correct. It's in the main paragraph.
It says light trespass from digital display. That?
No, let's go down just a little bit further. Therefore.
Oh, so 7. Yeah, 7.
Therefore.
Sorry, 7 is digital signs, and then you're in the main part of
I'm in the
7.
main header,
Okay,
correct?
gotcha. Therefore, I see it.
Oh,
Therefore, temporary signs and non-conforming signs are prohibited where a digital display is installed. So I don't think it's correct that we say if you have, let's just say a property has 3 signs. It's got one on the building, it's got one on the pole, we talked about pole signs, and then you're going to install a digital sign. That means that any other signs have to go away and you only get one digital sign, and I don't think that's correct.
I'm not reading that restriction, I guess.
halfway under where digital signs starts, you get to the therefore.
Right.
Temporary signs and non-conforming signs are prohibited where a digital display is installed.
Oh, so basically, if you have a digital sign, you couldn't have a temporary sign, is what it's saying, and that's what you're.
You can't have a temporary sign anyway. Temporary signs are illegal in the city, right?
No, it's temporary signs. Election signs are temporary.
What about the non-conforming sign?
Well, non-conforming signs
Identify that.
would be a sign that you've had that was non-conforming that you're allowed to keep because it's non-conforming. So I guess to his
As
point,
soon as you a digital sign to your footprint, you got to take down any non-conforming signs that don't currently meet the code.
yeah, I don't think the addition of digital signs should have any bearing on your other signs.
I don't think it should either. I don't think just because you add a digital sign, you should be required to take down your other
No,
signs.
I agree. We're just adding capability to have digital signs. It shouldn't impact unless and probably the thought process is if you're upgrading to digital signs, they don't want you to have all these other signs. But again, temporary doesn't make any sense. Non-conforming, I guess you could make an argument for that. But
Let me give you an example, just so we're on the same page. So we're going to do a digital sign on our pole sign out front.
right,
We also have an existing box sign that will have the name of our company on it. It'll be like the name of the company, and then it'll have a digital sign above it. What I don't think that we should have to do is take any existing non-conforming signs down just because you're going to have a digital sign.
right, and I agree. I don't know that in your case you have any non-conforming signs, but
I don't know that I do or I don't, but I'm
yeah, if somebody did, right, why would you make them
Since
remove
you
it?
catches, I like throwing catches into the mix because they have a lot of stuff going on there. So if they add a digital sign, do they have to take down any non-conforming signs? That's what I'm saying.
I'm not advocating for one thing or the other. The way this was written, again, we borrowed it from Pasco County. I don't know if they wrote it or borrowed it from somebody else. The idea is, and it says it's in here, the intent of allowing this is to get rid of other signs because you have a digital display that can change what it's showing. So
Yeah, it's kind of an
you can
incentive.
show all three, if you have 3 different signs, conveying 3 different ideas or thoughts or services, the digital sign changes and allows you to do that in one sign. That's the idea behind the digital sign. Is it's supposed to like clean up all the signs, get rid of.
Are most digital signs on 24/7?
That's up to them.
It
Because
seems like they're when I drive by them.
because regular signs are always there.
Yeah.
And digital signs might not always be lit up.
Well, we're talking about non-conforming. So
Well, so I think there's two different. Okay, yeah. So if you read the introduction, paragraph 7 of digital signs, it talks about the intent behind this is to get rid of multiple signs and have just a digital sign. So I think they're conveying that that's the intent. And if your property's going to get a digital sign, get rid of your non-conforming signs, and you don't need temporary signs because you have a digital sign now that can, if you have a temporary, big sale today, 50% off, you can add that to your digital sign. You don't need a temporary sign to convey that anymore. The non-conforming, I think the idea is you don't need it. You have a digital sign that you've gotten appropriate permits for, and it's allowed to be there, and you can get rid of the things that really shouldn't be there. The idea of non-conforming is to get rid of it. Ultimately, it's not to allow it to continue forever. So I think it's just one more way to say the digital is going to allow you to update everything, get the message out you want, and get rid of your other signs.
There's a difference between the name of your company and a digital sign that is attempting to tell the public what you do and how you do it. So the branding of your company is not necessarily going to flash up for 10 seconds. The branding of your company is going to be on a logo, or it's going to be portrayed on a non-conforming sign that's been there for 20 or 30 years. We're telling people now, if you go to digital, you got to pull the branded logo sign down, which is where I'm having a problem with it. I don't think we do that. I don't think the language in here where it says will be prohibited is correct.
yeah, no, I agree. And
Well, it's like catches. They put the digital sign up. They got catches on their roof. So
Right.
I'm not
It's
going
been
to
there
tell them to take
forever,
it
and it's
down.
well, right, but that's not
temporary,
non-conforming.
and it's, I don't know. I assume it's not.
The only
I think
one.
we pull that whole.
I wouldn't take temporary.
You
signs
could
out.
make room for
Yeah, temporary. You wouldn't take it out.
Temporary,
I would
yeah,
think that-
temporary is fine.
Yeah.
Temporary means that we're just trying to get something up there to get some bills paid so we can stay in business long enough to stay in business. But that's temporary is different from a non-conforming sign that's been up or been there forever, like catches, for example.
Well, like you said, catches is conforming now. But if it's not non-conforming,
Then they would have to.
but I don't know what, if it's non-conforming, it shouldn't be there anyway, right?
And yeah, the
And
idea,
then you put a
the idea of non-conforming is to get rid
A
of
nice
it.
sign, whether it's digital or not, then
Yeah.
the non-conforming sign should come down. So they just
But there's
replaced
a
it.
lot of non-conforming stuff out there.
Like,
There's a lot of things out there that are non-conforming that go with the property. And just because they're going to add some technology doesn't mean that we should tell them to take down anything non-conforming.
well, pole signs are non-conforming, right?
Now they're going to be allowed. I
So
guess
that
makes
so that
sense
fixes
now.
that problem.
Suddenly you're
I guess we need to think about, because obviously we're going through the sign, we're opening some things up that haven't been allowed in the past. So if it's truly non-conforming, and this is a way to, help expedite get rid by allowing them to go for a digital sign, I guess maybe that's a good thing. Again, just non-conforming.
Well, we paid Wayfinder a bunch of money as a professional. That's all they do is signs.
Mhm.
And they've got all the stats, what works, what don't work.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking that we got a lot done, but I think we should talk to them before we finish this. I mean, we can.
Well, that's for our wayfinding. That's not for businesses, right?
Oh, yeah, it can be.
Well,
Absolutely.
but no, we pay for them to wayfind for our city stuff.
They can tell you about all kinds of signs.
Well, they could, but the scope of that was for our government,
Right.
not necessarily what business A, B, or C should do for their wayfinding. I mean,
No, but you're gonna have businesses on the signs. You're gonna have streets. You're gonna have like the park or whatever, right? Different things on them.
well, I don't know. We'd be advertising any businesses.
Okay, but they do make business signs.
Sure.
So they may have input on. What do you think, Andy?
tuned out, sir. I'm sorry. Preparing for tonight's meeting.
Talk about Wayfinder.
Oh, wayfinding, we were thinking January that they would be back, but that's quite a ways out too. So
He was in context of they would have some
We
ideas
can
about
circle back.
the business
If
stuff.
they suggest things, we may put things in we don't have or word things different. They may they got stats on signage, and you said maybe we should talk to them about or what they recommend as far as signage of what we're trying to do with the city.
Absolutely. I mean, we already have a relationship with them, and I can reach out for an earlier information dump on us. What works in different cities. I know you're looking for a cleaner look and all these big sign pole signs, right? So we're moving toward the monuments.
Well, I don't know if they, what I understand, they say that they've done stats. You can have a pole sign and you can have the ground signs. And people don't even look at the pole sign. They look at, everybody focus more on eye level when they're driving, and they stand out more. And I've been going through different communities, and they look, the landscaping and the signage is uniform and it's clean and it's extremely informative. I mean, I could see we're looking for Petco, and it was like 2 blocks away. We pull up, and arrow up here, oh, we go up another block, then add the arrow turn. There it is. It's, I mean, and you could do parks and everything else that way. But I don't know if that fits into what we want to do for codes. But I just think we need to clean. We want a clean city. When they come through our town, I want to look different than Hudson and Newport Richey and everybody else.
Right. I'll try to get a timeline. on
We
when
can
that-
still do this and put down. We can circle back if they got suggestions that we like.
Well, we could always
suggestions,
modify.
right? So we can.
Yeah. So I guess in the context of this discussion for digital signs, Chris has some concerns with this particular sentence about if you have a digital sign, you've got to take out your temporary signs and your non-conforming signs. Now, if we clarify temporary signs, this tells me that if Bob wants to, let's say Catches puts their digital sign in and they won't allow Bob to put his election sign in there, they can't do that because it's a temporary sign. So I think temporary signs need to come out because they don't even make any sense. Why would you? I mean, they're temporary. So as long as they're within the
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they could put it up on their digital sign, but that, that's not realistic.
I think it's bad content to pull the whole sentence out. That's what I think.
Yeah, well, temporary sign for sure. Non-conforming, I mean, I think I'm okay with that too, depending on that. But I see the value in having non-conforming in there. If it's truly non-conforming, maybe you want to encourage it to be.
And you don't want a business to have like 8 signs.
I mean, you don't want to force them to, if they want to, maybe they're discovering the digital technology. Okay, maybe they're just trying to embrace it or understand it, and we're telling them as soon as you do that, we're going to take down all your other stuff. And that's,
Hold on.
for a guy who's been there for years, that's very uncomfortable.
No, one second, Chris.
There's a distinction, and I think that will be, and I'm sorry I didn't notice it till now. This is just talking about non-conforming signs, not a legally non-conforming sign. It's 2 different things. Legally non-conforming is what we were talking about, where you built it when it was allowed and the code changed, and now you're not supposed to have it, but you're allowed to keep it because we changed the code. This is talking about non-conforming in some other manner. It's not, if you read on, the next section starts about if you have a legal non-conforming sign and you still go with you can still have a digital display.
Oh, so digital signs and legally
I don't
non-conforming
know
signs.
again, this was Pasco. I don't know if they were trying to make a distinction somehow. And I'm not saying that changes anyone's analysis. I just want to point that out. You can have something that's non-conforming that's not legal non-conforming. I don't know if that's really like splitting a hair, but maybe that's what they were trying to do.
That's kind of up to them, but then we're not supposed to leave a gray area for them.
That's what I don't want to leave a gray area. So I don't know if Pasco was trying to really split a hair on that, or if they meant it to be the same, even though they use different wording. We're supposed to assume legislative statements. Every word has a meaning, and you do it for a purpose.
So they have
I don't know if that helps at all in the conversation. I just throw that out there.
So if they put up a digital open sign, they got to take down their regular sign if it's non-conforming, just because they put a digital open sign up.
Well, this is it specifying this legally non-conforming signs with digital display?
That one line does. It may not be meant to make a difference, but to me, the fact that it says something different should convey something different. I don't have a fight. I don't have an opinion. I'm just pointing out the different language might mean something different as you look at it.
Well, Chris, in your example, let's say it's your company name happens to be non-conforming, and I don't know what it is because let's say it has more square footage than it should, and so that would be they change the square footage requirement. Your sign's too big. right? And so it's non-conforming, it's legally non-conforming. And if you had a digital sign put up, what this is saying, you would have to take it off. Now, in that instance, I would disagree. So maybe it is better to pull it out.
Chris shouldn't put that big a sign up then.
Like this example, I don't think he has any non-conforming signs. I'm trying to think of something that would
I
be
know,
non-conforming.
it's hard.
Yeah.
It's so a lot of variables, and
Yeah,
but I know it sounds good. Sounds good,
Are we
but you
talking about
could.
the context of a sign being your main sign or just any digital sign? Because if it was your main sign, then any secondary non-conformings, those wouldn't be a big deal to get rid of. It would kind of clean it up. But if it's a secondary sign that says family discount 20% off haircuts that day, and it's a digital sign, then does that mean that your non-conforming main sign has to?
That's what I was
I
saying.
think that was Chris's point. That's the way
Right.
this is written. Yes. So let's say we're going to keep using
Right.
Chris's business. If his current static permanent sign is what he's going to keep for maybe his logo or the name of the business, he's not going to have that on the digital. The digital is going to be saying
Right.
information
Yeah.
about that sale today or whatever's
So could
going
it
on.
have to
Yeah.
do with, could the sentence structure have something to do with whether it's your primary sign or your secondary sign? And then it changes?
well, that's interpretive too,
Or
right?
you
So,
could have.
Your
I don't think I think the intent here is good. I don't know that you're going to have, because you still got all the restrictions on where you can have your signs, what they are, and realistically, if you're adding a digital sign, it's not going to be a new sign. It's going to take the place of something, right? And so it probably
Your
Could
road
we make
sign,
it-
your road sign, side sign, but not everybody has a
No.
road sign.
If you could make, if it's non-conforming, don't take it down. You make it conforming without taking it down. Is that too much to ask?
No, you can't make a non-conforming
Depends
conforming.
on
Yeah, you
what's,
could. Depends
depends
on
on-
what it is.
yeah, it depends on what the non-conformance is.
Make it
Well, I
conforming.
think again, this is from Pasco, whether they've already.
Oh, if you're let's make sure. So you're saying if you have a non-conforming sign and that's what you're doing,
Like you're
digital,
talking, his
integrating
sign's
digital
too
into it.
big. This sign's too big. Make it a little smaller so it conforms, and you can have the digital sign in that sign with his logo and everything on it.
Well, if it's a size thing, yeah, you could, but you'd be redoing that sign to make it
That's
conforming.
expensive. I think that, yeah.
Yeah.
So the intent behind this, again, you borrowed it from Pasco County, whether this was them writing it or them borrowing it. Their intent may truly have been: there's too many signs. We want all of them gone. If you're going to have digital, we don't want you to have anything else. You guys don't have that vision, so you don't keep that language. It's what your vision is. It doesn't have to be what Pasco's vision was. So I think I think Chris makes a good point. I think if someone, having to assume it's non-conforming, maybe it's too tall, and it's the sign that's been standing there forever that has the name of the business, you may not want to require them to take that down just because they get a digital sign.
Yeah, it almost turns into we're dangling a carrot. Well, you can have a digital sign, but that sucker's got to come down. And I don't. That's
Because
not.
it's old and it's non-conforming, and yes, the idea is get rid of non-conforming.
Well, can't they talk to Andy and put it on the agenda and we can make a decision? Well, that's fine. Make it a conforming
No.
sign. Okay.
It needs to be objective.
If it's in there, it's that.
Yeah.
Wait, okay.
Yeah.
Because then you play favorites. Well, okay, we like you. We're gonna.
Yeah, you
Let
got
you
to
have
You're
it.
not playing favorites. You're making adjustments.
Well, no, but
People could interpret it that way, I guess.
that's how it would be interpreted. Yeah. So yeah, strike that. I think consensus. Any objections to striking that language?
I'm taking out there for temporary signs and non-conforming signs are prohibited where a digital display is installed. Gone.
And do you need to do anything with that? Digital signs and legal non-conforming signs with digital display are subject to the technical requirements section.
No.
That's good.
He's wandering
Could
around
you-
out there, jumping up and
We
down.
still have, after this happens, you may have something that's illegal non-conforming.
Yeah. And just to let you guys know, I'm going to take a quick break after we do this digital thing, which we're almost done.
We've
The only
eliminated it with
Oh,
the
I got you.
donuts and the cookie.
sorry,
I'm sorry.
you guys got something going on over there?
No,
Yeah. No.
I got your answer about the interactive.
Yeah.
It's not defined in Pasco anyway. I just did a general search, and I think it's talking about the digital signs that you can go up and touch them, change
Right.
things.
So we can have transitions. There's no
Yeah.
restriction to that.
And,
As long
and
as,
you have the 10-second transition, which is less than Pasco. I think it's less. I think, maybe
well,
it's
10 seconds
longer.
is how long it has to stay up there.
Yeah.
You can't be changed every 5 seconds.
They changed it from Pasco. I can't remember if they made it shorter or longer, but
Could
interactive is
you
something
could you
different.
technically play a video on there? Is I guess the question.
I think you have to know.
A video on a sign?
Yeah, people are doing that
I
now.
couldn't remember which.
Yeah, they kind of
Yeah, you might,
it
you know,
shows video.
You might show a guy cooking lobster or
Right.
something,
Using
movement.
a wall.
Not necessarily not a video, but sort of.
I had a sign that had the picture of my vote in the video, and I've had signs, I had videos going.
Like they
I
do
had
on gas
signs of
pumps
new
now.
releases, and it
There's
had a little bit of the
camera.
Yeah, it was actually playing TV, but
Yeah.
not
I've only
that.
seen those like on the billboards.
Yeah, they have them. There's
On the sign?
smaller ones
Yeah.
now, and yeah,
I've never seen it.
they'll do anything this monitor will do. Really.
I don't see
They're expensive.
this if you can.
This is dwell time defined as the interval of change between each individual message shall be at least 10 seconds with all illumination changing simultaneously. There shall be no special effects or other content between messages. So that tells me it's an image and then it's another image. There's no transition
Yeah,
effects or
5
anything.
seconds though, not I think, because if you're driving down the road, you're gonna be distracted.
Eric, all these
Don't like
digital signs have things like it might come in the side of the screen, or maybe it starts in the middle and it gets bigger to make it like blip, blip, blip. That would not be very smooth. That would be
No, I agree. That's what I'm advocating for. We don't want to restrict that. But
Just curious if anyone knows. This is what's in Pasco County. Have you seen digital signs in Pasco County and how they look?
I can't think
I don't.
of
I
any in
don't think I have
Pasco
any
County.
yet.
Does
I don't know. Just
does
curious.
the marina up there have a digital sign? Pelican?
Pelican Marina?
I don't think they have. I think maybe I saw something up there, but I don't know. The only one I can
They have a
think of
list.
is Newport Richey's, and they actually have some movement stuff in there.
So I'll tell you what. So some of this again was changed by P&Z. Pasco for their digital sign says it has to be a digital display. Shall be static loop only. There shall not be any illumination that moves, appears to move, blanks, fades, rolls, shines, dissolves, flashes, scrolls, shows animated movement or change.
Right.
And the light intensity during the static display period. Messages shall not be given the appearance of an optical illusion or movement or a 3D display. And P&Z took that away. They thought that was
Okay,
too restrictive.
so I think we're good.
This is just I think what the idea of this is, whatever your message is, whether it's moving or doing or just words, it's supposed to go away. A certain amount of time happens, and the next one comes up. Pasco has 15 seconds. P&Z changed it to 10, and I want to say they even talked about it being shorter than that. And I think they settled on 10. So it's kind of like one message leaves, the next message.
Well, I was at that meeting, and I think it was at 15 or whatever. And Newport Richey's transitions, there's about 11 seconds of what it was. That's why they went with 10.
Yeah, okay.
You could make it shorter, but I think anything less than 10 seconds becomes ineffective. I mean, you don't want something constantly changing all the time. If you're sitting at a stoplight,
Depends on what it is, what kind of message you're putting out.
but 10 seconds, I mean, is a. I mean, we can make it shorter.
They had television commercials that are 5 seconds.
I mean, you advocate for shorter time?
I'm willing to adjust. I'm just saying 10 seconds. If you're driving down the road, you got a message. Oh, what?
It's going to
You're wanting to get to the end of
digital
it.
display with nothing on it because it's
I
going to
know,
be black.
but
I mean, depending on how fast you're driving, 18 and all that,
Clearly, he's flying down the road.
that's all.
he needs at least 2 or 3
That's
messages
right.
come across.
Well, he passes me all the time, so not,
I mean, if you guys want to go shorter, I'm not opposed to it. I just don't want to get something that's just flipping through it. You don't want to be distracting either.
Right.
It's key.
And this is at least, so someone could do it longer if they want.
Oh yeah, they can do 30
You're
seconds.
giving them a minimum.
Right.
But they can't do it. They have to be there 10 seconds. And like I said, I've seen Newport Richey sign as I'm at the stoplight, and it's about 11 seconds, and it seems
So
right.
10 seconds at least. It could be
Yeah,
longer.
they can do it longer.
but they put on these concerts, or they'll put on some kind of activity they got going on, and they have this 7 p.m. and then they go to the address and they put something else on there. You go, where is it at? Where are they going to slow down and back up traffic? And
Well, I don't. So if your
so 5
sign
seconds is just the minimum.
has some motion or whatever, doing something or whatever in there, or it adds something that's different. I think this is just one advertisement to another.
Right. So
Totally
the
different.
minimum's 5 seconds. The maximum could be whatever.
You want to take the 5 seconds?
I think the 10 seconds. Okay.
5 is fast. 1,
I'll split
Two.
7.
3.
I'm good with 5 seconds.
But I think also think about
I
it.
didn't ask you, Chris.
The business may realize 5 seconds too quick, and they're going to do longer. You're just giving them a bottom, some base. They may think
It's
5
it's not a big deal. I'm
quick,
just
quick enough.
yeah,
I
it's
don't
not a big deal.
I don't pay much attention, unfortunately, to the signs.
I'm driving. Yeah,
I know the businesses don't want to hear that.
The only care I have is that it becomes distracting.
Right.
Outside of that,
it's like Newport Richey sign. You gotta read it when I'm at the light. If I'm going on the road, I don't even look at it. So if it's in that light, I'll read it. Otherwise, I don't even look at it.
right. But if you get something changed every 5 seconds,
Right.
it might change a couple times. You go by, it might attract your attention, which you don't want to. That to
Divert your
happen.
eyes. That's a good point. Divert your eyes.
Right.
Because it keeps
Yeah.
the picture
So
keeps changing.
You could do 7 seconds, maybe. I don't know. 8 seconds. Or at least it's at 10.
I think if planning and zoning put a lot of time into coming up with 10 seconds and we can't come up with a reason to change it for any distinct reason, then we ought to let planning and zoning determine that.
The question is 10 seconds too long?
No, go ahead. 10 seconds is fine.
Chris, is 10 seconds too long?
You just count 1001, 1002, 1003,
You had to ask them.
1004, 1005. That's 5 seconds. That's not like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not like that. It's a much slower dynamic. And 10 seconds in the world of digital signs is like an eternity.
Well, I can tell you 5 seconds. If you had, I mean, depending on what you have on there, if you have any amount of words, you can't read it in 5 seconds. So that's kind of what
Other than the fact they're driving by at 60 miles an hour through there.
right. I mean, if you got a static image of somebody with a lobster's mouth said, all what's the all you can eat lobster. If that's your sign,
Yeah.
5 seconds is probably long enough. But if you got all day lobster, Monday through Friday, 10 to 5, whatever, then 5 seconds before you can even get your whole message across. You're flipping it.
The time we're talking about is the in-between message sign. It's the dwell time in between the messages. I don't think there's any limit on how long that message can stay up. Dwell time defined as the interval of change between the individual messages.
Oh, we're talking about.
The in-between time. As the message changes.
About the message.
No,
Well, hold on a second.
I was confused.
it's the yeah.
We're
Right.
talking about the in between.
No, 7.1. Dwell time defined as the interval of change between each individual message.
Well, then it's talking about with the thing changes simultaneously. So you go from one message to another. You don't have it.
They don't want that. I think what they're trying to get there is the elimination changes altogether. So the whole when that message is done, it's supposed to go black or whatever it's supposed to do, and the new message comes up. Versus like you have your message and a piece of it flies off here, and then it
Okay, hold on.
breaks apart.
Hold on a minute, Nancy. I think I see where you're going. So, dwell time defined as the interval of change between each individual message.
Right.
So I read that as my first message is posted.
Mhm.
I've got a clock going. It's telling me I've got 10 seconds to stay on that message before I change to another one, not in between the messages.
I read as the interval of change between each message. So to me, that's the in between
Well,
the two
yeah,
messages.
that's like the message ends and then before the next one starts. That's what it's saying.
Yeah.
And that's not right. That'd be 1 second.
Yeah. Well, that's
Hey,
That-
I read it that way.
so. What you're saying is we take a message away. We've got to wait 10 seconds before we put another on.
And then also
That's definitely not the
Blank.
intent of this. So.
and it also says there shall be no special effects or other content between those between the two messages.
Yeah, I see how you can read it that way, but that's not the intent for sure. They don't want
It says.
Lag.
it's here for
That's the
digital
way it reads, though. She's
messages.
right. Just
you
change
could
that.
you
then.
could read it that way. Yes.
Dwell
How would
time-
you change
dwell
that,
time
Nancy?
is the amount of
I
time
wouldn't
a
if you
person
want
spends
if you want
viewing or engaging with the message.
if you want
Each because I don't care how fast it changes. I mean, instantaneously, or if they want to black it out for 5-10 seconds, or they want to black it out for a day and come back. That doesn't matter to me. The message, each advertisement must at least stay on there a certain amount of time.
I don't think you require that in here.
Well, that's
what we're saying, though. It's-
I guarantee you that's the intent of
Minimal
this.
amount of time, Eric, right?
Huh?
Yeah, it's a minimal. I don't think that it is at all what Nancy's saying. I don't think it's the time between messages. It's the time from the start of one message to the time.
Yeah, that's the way I read it. But
that's not what they
you
have
can
written,
read
though.
it the other way too.
That's
so
probably
we
what
need
they
to fix
mean,
that.
But, yeah.
That's what I thought. It was from the beginning to the
So the next message should start 5 seconds after the original message started, or the
Yeah.
message before it started. I guess.
It says the interval of change. So is that from when you started, or is that when you actually changed?
That's changing.
I agree.
that's why
I agree.
read it.
It's confusing if you read
It is, yeah.
So maybe take that out, that wording out, and just say, just to address the messaging. Like,
Yeah, messages, a advertisement, message is maybe not a good word. An advertisement must last at least 10 seconds before changing to another.
Yeah,
or
it
something
says
like that.
dwell time refers to how long a hand pauses or is held in a specific location or position during a sign.
Hmm.
So,
Anyway, so
so forget what it says. Tell me what you want. You want the visual message, whatever the visual advertisement message is, to last at least 10 seconds.
or is that good? Or you want 8?
So 5's fine.
10?
10's fine.
You don't care about.
I think we go with less than 10. I think we're spending $45,000 on a sign, and I think anywhere from 5 to 8 seconds is plenty. I don't think we need to bring it out to 10 seconds. I mean, if this sign was 40 feet tall and they were going to see it from a quarter mile away, that's one thing. But they're not, because of the price of these things, you almost have to be right up on them to see them.
Yeah.
And I think we should probably go with either 5 or 8 seconds between the start of one message to the start.
Well, I think 5 is
Originally
too
said
fast. 8
so
I can go for.
5 is fine, I guess. That's what I said originally. Or 7 or 8, I
I mean,
guess.
5 is just
I agree with
fast.
you that's fast if there's very much on there at all.
All right, we'll do 7, 8.
8, let's do 8.
8, Chris?
8 work for
I'm
you?
good with 8. Yeah, I'm good with 8.
You ever watch a rocket launch? 8, 7. That's a while. But okay, 8 seconds is good.
If you guys are good with 8, I'm good with 8.
I just want to make sure it's not distracting. The last thing I want to do is have that there and some cause an accident.
And the people that spend that much money on a sign want to make sure
They want to get their message
they want
across.
to get their messages read. Yeah.
I'd be surprised if anybody went any lower than 10 seconds, to be honest, but they can. They can go to 8.
Okay. So the idea is that from the beginning of one message before the next message, it needs to be at least 8 seconds.
Right.
And you don't care about in between time, in between
Right.
message 1 and message 2.
Yeah, that's whatever they want to do. There shall be no special effects or other content between messages. So,
I've got some questions about that, Eric.
yeah, they are.
I've got some questions.
I'm happy to hear them.
The questions are, so when you flash in one message and you instantaneously change the entire screen to a new message, it's like a boop, it pipes. Versus something smooth, which is a transition.
Yeah.
We have a sign in Winchester, and it changes. I think it's every 6 seconds or something like that. But it's a smooth transition. You like take one screen and it rolls into the next screen. It's a smooth. It's not a pop. It's not an immediate pop. And that's kind of what when you say you can't roll it or smooth it, you're basically saying it's going to pop every time, and that's more startling than something comes in smooth.
Yeah, they got where they just move across slow, or they fade in, fade out.
Yeah, I agree. We shouldn't restrict that. That's why. It should not restrict it. So I think we could scratch that language.
Yep.
Okay, and what about no special effects or content?
That's the one we're striking.
I thought you meant
Whoever's
elimination.
doing the design
Changing
or spending the time to do it, they want to do something that's attractive and that's comfortable.
I would strike that as well.
You know,
That goes together.
it would be in their best interest not to do something. It already says in there you can't flash something to somebody.
Yes.
So they're not going to flash something real quick. And I think you make the whole thing transition. And
Yeah. So is there any objection to scratching with all illumination change simultaneously and there shall be no special effects or other content between messages? I think that's what we're saying. Okay, we're going to strike that language.
Done.
And you think there's nothing in there restricting movement and stuff in the messages, fly in, whatever?
Because remember, the Pasco had that, and
I say, yeah.
P&Z did not adopt that in this version.
And so really the only thing is the interactive. And again, that's if a black Ford truck drives by, they,
I guess can stop by and touch it versus because everything talks about being able to touch the screen and as a consumer interact with it like, physically.
so, on that, I'm assuming that, let's say you had a little interactive map on your, I don't know if we have anything like this, but let's use the mobile home park, for example.
Mhm.
And they had, let's say we go in, they've got a digital sign, like you are here, and you could maybe see,
where you wanna go.
touch here, and it'd give you, hey, this is the clubhouse, this is the pool.
This would not allow that.
Would not allow that.
Yeah. I don't know if that's an issue. Cause I'm picturing those signs when I'm driving down the road. I'm not going to pull over and.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to do that anyway. So, do we take the interactive off, or?
I don't have a
It's
problem with
I'm sorry.
interactive if it's in the right place, and I don't think anybody would put it where it's not.
Yeah.
Well, it's isn't that kind of what we're doing with Wayfinder? Is interactive signs, aren't they? Now, in the mobile home, like you said, the pool, we don't want people off the street going to their swimming pool. I can get that, but when you're looking for something,
Right. I mean, there's probably an application for interactive
Right.
signs. We don't want to. What did you say, Chris? Yes, something? Take out the interactive. You good with that?
He said he didn't hear it. I understand there.
We're on number 2. Digital display signs shall not be interactive. Question is, do we strike that language or we leave it?
Yeah, strike that language.
Right.
No, they don't need to be interactive. No, you don't want that.
Well-
like if I walk in front of the sign, I don't want to have a sentence that says, "Hey, you," but that's not correct.
Oh,
Well,
They
you-
should not be.
well, yeah, that's kind of what you're getting at. But I was drawing a conclusion on a sign that you do want interactive, because this doesn't give you any ability to have any interactive, even if it's done.
Give me an example. Give me an example. And I'm
Like,
sorry.
so I mentioned like the mobile home park. So let's say they had a interactive map outside to take you around. Well, let's do something. Let's say we had a development where we had different stores or whatever. It's an interactive map where you could go up and touch it and say, I want to go to this. It pulls the coffee shop up, gives what they carry or whatever, like a pedestrian type interactive sign.
I like that. I like that.
So that's kind of what I'm saying. There is application for that. I don't know how we don't want any road signs being interactive.
well, I was in Tennessee with the family in a minivan. I was going down the road and there's a barbecue joint and they had a sign up there. And as you go by it, police lights come on. It says, pull over now, like a police force. I'm like, did I run a stop sign? And I'm like,
Definitely would not want that.
it's a motion detecting thing that, yelling at traffic going by.
wow.
Maybe we can say
Yeah, touch interactive signs would be allowed.
We could do that out front and get more
road signs are
council.
be interactive.
Right. Would you guys? Anything that's touch responsive is okay.
Right.
That means that you have to actually go up and touch it. I think that covers it.
Does that work, Nancy?
I agree.
I can write anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Veronica has to read it.
Digital display signs should not be interactive unless they are physically touch interface with pedestrians or whatever.
What about the QR codes that you have to scan from your phone?
That's interactive.
Yeah, and businesses will want that.
I think that's what Pasco was getting at when you're driving and you had these
They want you to
digital
get your phone
maps.
out and
They don't want to throw a
QR
QR code up there and people try to snap it while they're driving because
Right.
that's a hazard.
That's
Yeah.
very good.
That's an interactive.
Yeah.
I think that's where they were going with that one
yeah,
as
Do
far
away
as the
with that.
digital signs
Yeah.
for businesses.
and that'd be covered.
You're not physically touching it. Like you want it like it's a touch,
Right.
interactive, touching fingers.
Even
whatever.
though he mentioned you have to physically go up there to touch it. So that would be different. No, not QR codes. That would be different. But if we restrict it to just that language, it would eliminate the QR codes.
Right.
Because it's,
You're not
I mean,
touching it.
you're not touching it.
But it's still interactive.
Maybe say
Well,
interactive.
that's what they want. They want language saying that interactive is only allowed if it's like you're physically touching it.
Right.
Yeah, so they're limiting it to that.
But then you can still have a QR code if it says, if you want the QR code, touch here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you go.
And so I think that would be okay versus opening it up to interactive
Well,
because
yes. If
Yeah.
maybe we should restrict interactive from the context of driving a vehicle. You can't have signs that are interactive with traffic,
There you go.
and that way, if you had a sign that you wouldn't touch in your little the McDonald's or whatever, but you could have a QR code. Well, McDonald's people driving through you. That's tough. You don't
it's
want
a hard one because that's what everything is now, right? So
to. Yeah,
I didn't think about that.
I believe there's probably QR codes in some of those. But again, it's as you go through the drive-through is different than going down the highway. So you can try to put
I'll
something
play with
together.
it. Yep.
You kind of know what we're looking for.
Yep.
Okay, let's take a 5-minute recess.
We have a vending machine.
Sorry you caught me sleeping. I was actually preparing for tonight's meeting.
Is there a vending machine?
I got some peanuts.
Walk around the building.
Yeah. I'll just bring them back here. How about after you walk?
Can you make sure all your messages are
Off.
we'll resume. So next section is 121-10 temporary signs. They shall be allowed providing the following requirements are met. So there's a general rule. Unless otherwise provided for in this chapter, temporary signs shall not be erected for more than 100 days prior to the event being advertised on the temporary sign begins, and they shall be removed promptly at the event's conclusion. Temporary signs not advertising an event to occur on a specific date, but which are related to the occurrence of an expected future event or for sale signs shall not be subject to the 100-day provision in a subsection. But such signs shall also be removed promptly upon the earliest of the occurrence of the event or transaction or the expiration of the listing or other similar change of facts. I think that's all good. Would you guys agree? No. Number 2, state law on usage and removal of political campaign advertisements. May not be erected sign earlier than 60 days before a scheduled election. I think we had city code actually on election signs. They can't be out before qualifying, right? Or after
After qualifying period is,
and that's normally mid-February,
yes.
March, which kind of I think goes along with the 60
We
days.
can make it consistent. We say the same thing as what the code already says somewhere else. We have a code that says something different.
Well, this is state law,
I think the next part of it.
so I would be more apt to just keep our thing with state law.
Oh, let me look at that if they need.
Yeah, but I think qualifying is probably set up that it ends 60 days before the election. I would guess.
Yeah, you don't want anybody setting up
Before that.
before that because they might not be qualified
Exactly.
on ballot. So
And it's a long time for signs.
it is. It is.
It's a long time for
No,
signs.
you can definitely tell the amount of signs the city has during an election.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. So that is a long time.
For example, do you have the qualifying dates for the upcoming?
Not currently, no.
Okay, I'd bet
It
that
is mid-February though.
I'd bet they're 60 days. So
Probably February 7th then.
oh, it's mid-February, I think. Let's just see what we're talking about to make sure it's. So that would be the election would probably be on the 14th, I guess, or 7th.
Election would be it would be the 7th.
The 7th. Okay, so I imagine qualifying probably is around February 7th
It would probably be the week of.
or no, like Tuesday,
It
right?
changes. It's Tuesday to Tuesday, so it could be the 10th or the 17th or the 3rd or the 10th.
Yeah.
Look.
So there might be
Oh no, I apologize. It's the 14th.
qualifying is the 14th.
No, the election is the 14th of April.
Okay.
So most likely it's going to be the 10th or the
17th.
Sorry, I was going on way. And most likely the 10th or the 17th.
So that would be so technically, if it uses 60 days, you could have signs out before qualifying ended, I guess. And but you qualify if all your paperwork's in, you can actually qualify. So it's not the end of qualifying. I think you probably lead the 60 days by state statute, and
No,
you
and you could qualify
and you must be
before
qualified.
everything is done.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't put them out until you're qualified.
Definitely can qualify earlier. So everybody knows you can qualify a lot earlier instead of just the qualifying year. Don't have to wait.
Well, you're not technically qualified
No,
until
you
the opening day of qualifying.
give paperwork
You can pre-submit your paperwork.
Qualified, yes.
Right.
Pre-qualified.
So it looks like the 60 days is around, but it looks like it's not. And I think our code says end of qualifying.
I was trying to find the part of this section 2 that you're looking at. That's Florida statutes. The next part about removal that doesn't. I haven't found anything that talks about placing the stuff out. So I think you want it to be consistent with what you already have in the code. So we probably just want to track the same language. I haven't found that in the code yet. To tell you
Yeah, that'd be the only thing. And then let's see, percent of flow statutes can whether a federal state if it's remove all the signs within 30 days, or is to Kansas city office 72 hours after. Why is there a the C is black and not red there.
Oh, who knows?
That's weird.
Who knows?
So basically,
We
for
know
the city
probably-
elections, they're
Probably because it was a capital C and I changed it to a small C.
Yeah.
I forgot to put it
Right.
because I didn't agree with Rob's.
so the 30 days doesn't apply to our elections. It's 72 hours.
So our,
Based off of us, we use the temporary sign code. That's what's given to all of the candidates is the temporary sign code.
Is there something in Port Richey's code now that addresses these political sign codes somewhere else, or is it something?
No,
something
it's under temporary
you
sign.
just use temporary sign codes?
Doesn't it say something about qualifying in there?
I'm not finding it.
Or am I just,
No. It's okay. So
it's been
it
a
just
while.
says that they have to be removed no later than 15 days after the election.
Where does it say that? What section?
16-10.
Yeah.
You said 15 and in here,
This says 72 hours.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna make it. Let's see what-
Political campaign signs may be posted no earlier than the date of a candidate qualification and must be removed no later than 15 calendar days after the election to be released.
Was it? That's in our code?
Yes, section 16-10 temporary sign.
Yeah, I thought I read that somewhere about qualifying. So they can qualify. So basically, whatever, if somebody pre-filed their paperwork and they show up qualified on day one of qualifying is like a 7-day period, right?
Correct, it is 7
So they
days.
could technically put their signs
put
out
their
the
signs
day
up.
they're qualified.
Yeah. Yes, because I'm the
16-10.
qualifying officer.
16-110. Wow, I'm not finding that in 16.
Was it again, Ashley?
It's section 16-10 temporary signs A.
Section 16 is. I'm not. Let me just start over.
You sure it's section 16? Not
16.
yeah, that's like an excerpt of a.
Yeah.
So
That's not your section 16.
yeah, it's probably chapter something in 16. If you just
Let me
Take a look at it.
over.
Sorry.
That's okay. Don't be sorry. I know that's just all I can get.
This one does not come up in the info.
Well, you can check into this later, right?
So it looks like it's taken different parts of the sign code and made it into like it's in one section, so maybe that's the way it was. And we changed. I don't know. We're gonna figure that out.
yeah, so just that'd be the only thing is to kind of make that consistent.
We're gonna look at that later and figure out where that came from and make sure everything's consistent. That's not in your code right now.
And it's to assume that this stuff it says here is from state law, right?
The
So-
pursuant to Florida statute, the stuff after that is state law. I don't think the 60 days is a state law requirement. I think the pursuant to Florida statute 106-143, you have to make a good faith effort to remove all your political campaign advertisements within 30 days, or in your case, 72 hours after those.
So that's Florida statute,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yep.
But it starts state law and usage of removal. It says 60 days, so you don't think that's part of state law?
No, the first part that's italicized is like the headline of your, like the title of the paragraph. And I see nothing in state law that requires 60 days, but I will make sure of that, and I will see what Ashley's looking at, and we'll make sure it's all consistent. And if something needs to change, I'll bring it back to you.
Okay.
I mean, it's coming back to you guys anyway for your edits, so we'll make sure we address that.
And it sounds like there's a difference between 15 days and 72 hours too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
rectify that. If it's state law, we kind of
Yep.
we're
So fix that.
we can't make that less stringent, right? Okay, withdrawal candidacy, having been eliminated candidate or being elected office, fine. Provisions herein do not apply to political campaign things on your motor vehicles, shirts you worn. I think that's all okay. 3 district specific provisions. We've got. Let's see. So Nancy, you get number 3. And it jumps to, okay, A.
So what was there before was removed. And
Oh,
it's
that's-
A now.
Is that more about political stuff? 15, I see 15 days.
Not that.
So that's where some of that stuff is, right there. Okay, so A, residential districts, up to 3 temporary signs are permitted in residential districts, provided that no sign shall exceed 4 square feet in sign surface area and 6 feet in height. And we took out 2 political signs per candidate or issue may be placed on each. So basically now we've taken that, it doesn't matter, you only get 3.
That's what's being proposed by Rob based on his experience with others, other
What
towns.
was it? Because I missed that. How many?
3.
3 signs.
3 signs per parcel.
For temporary signs. That's can be
Can
changed.
be anything.
Real estate sign,
Garage sale sign,
this
parties here sign, the election signs, every sign, right?
this
Any
is,
temporary sign.
What's your guys' thoughts on that? Is that good? Bad?
I think 3. I mean, just off the top of my head.
That's probably good. You guys agree? Okay. Non-residential, up to 3 temporary signs permitted in non-residential districts. And they can be a little bit bigger, right? 32 square foot in sign surface area and 8 feet in height. Location on parcel of temporary signs shall be located behind the right of way, so that needs a change.
make that note.
Permitting, unless otherwise, temporary signs shall be exempt for permits. I think that's fine. Let's see, we took out additional regulation. There's nothing there. Okay. E, temporary signs at construction sites. Any land developer, licensed contractor, architect, or engineer is authorized with consent of landowner to install 1 or more signs at a permitted active construction site, as that term is defined in Florida statutes 810, 11, 13, or on land upon which the city has given preliminary approval plans to construct a building and a structure. And they must signs located on a construction site which has a valid building permit displayed. The sign shall not exceed 32 square feet aggregate per street frontage per site. The sign area shall not exceed 30 square feet aggregate per street frontage per site. What does that mean?
What?
So the sign area shall not exceed 32 square feet aggregate per street frontage per site. That doesn't make any sense to me.
32 square feet.
It sounds like it's giving you some latitude based on your square footage, but it didn't.
Doesn't explain really what.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to ask him what he meant by that because that doesn't make sense to me either.
All right.
This is Rob from your firm?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so get some clarification on that. All signs shall be set back a minimum of 10 feet from property lines. All signs shall be removed by no later than the date upon which the temporary fine certificate officer is issued. Okay. Then we got amount of signs was stricken. Special event signs were stricken. And then we got non-residential district advertising or banner sign. 1 banner sign or advertising balloon for each establishment having a certificate of occupancy may be displayed a maximum of 4 times per calendar year with a maximum sign surface area for banners 24 square foot. A sign permit shall be obtained for such banner or advertising balloon.
Is the banner the same as like a flag sign? The flag ones?
The banner would be like that.
Oh, okay. What are we calling the feather ones or the flag ones?
Well, those are just temporary. The feather ones.
I call them feather flags.
Yeah, they're temporary.
What do you call them? What do we call them?
Not permitted.
They're not permitted.
I thought we did allow those.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
They changed it.
Oh, they changed it to they are permitted? Because I can remember one time it looked like a circus going down Washington Street. It did. It looked like I was.
What was the one?
Tent. I was looking for the tent.
What was the one in front of your house? That was
Coding keys and coding.
no, there was a.
No.
We're not going there. I can't remember what it was, but it was funny. Yeah, available. There was one out in front of
Right in front of my
her house that said available. That's funny.
Right in front of my house. It said available. I'm like, get these flags now. They were. I mean, it did. We just needed a calliope machine.
Wow.
It really looked like a circus.
Yeah, you shouldn't have them going all the way down the street, but again, you could have a couple. Probably makes sense. But so basically, I think since they're
Depending on what
temporary,
they say.
they could have 3 of them, right? Based on this code,
Temporary.
So they're-
Temporary 3.
so they can have 3 of them only.
Yes.
And what is the temporary on that? The temporary, what is
What was
temporary?
the time frame?
Well, before an event, it could be 100 days before the event, and then immediately after the event's over, you take them down. Was the one thing. Obviously, election, it's different. It depends on.
So if they're renting out something, they can do it 100 days until they rent out something. I think that needs to change.
It's supposed to be advertising that event, so it's supposed to be like 100 days before whatever. I think we talked about having a market. Like there's a market on Saturday.
Oh, but they say now leasing, so those aren't allowed because that's not an event.
They shouldn't be. That's
Okay.
the way it's written, right?
And they can't say available.
You can add that
You
in
thought
here.
that was so funny. I'm like, sign in front of my house, right there, right at my driveway.
Okay, where were we?
We're number 4.
Yeah, number 4 now.
2011.
It talked about the advertising balloon. Was it a big balloon? I guess with some like they'd have in a car dealership. I guess they can have one. That's what this says. They need a permit. Anything on that? Okay. Moving down to 121.11, minimum criteria for all signs in the city. No sign may be residential, no sign may be erected in a residential that exceeds the following dimensions. So maximum sign feet of 10 foot and maximum sign structure area of 40 square foot.
That's a 10-foot tall sign is 30 feet long.
Eric, what number are you on?
Yes. Yeah. So, I'm on bottom page 31. Say it again, Bob.
That's what it says there. Maximum sign height would be 10 feet. The maximum sign structure area of 40 square feet. It's 10 foot tall and 30 feet wide. In the residential neighborhood.
Right across the whole front yard. That would be
It's the
good.
size of my
It's not
house.
big.
No, 10 by 30 would be 300 square foot.
Oh,
40 square foot would be
Square feet?
2 by 20.
20 by 20 is 40, isn't it?
It'd be 200.
20 by 20, is that what you said?
Uh-huh.
Is 400 square.
400. Yeah.
10 feet tall and 2 feet by 2 feet.
So 4 by 10 would be 40 square foot to kind of give you a visual.
that's good.
Not very big.
What would that be for?
That's like
What's
a
an
4 by
example
6.
of what this would be for? Would it be like a construction sign or something? What would that be?
Well, I know they're going down Bay. There used to be a guy had a sign there that was erected that tell people slow down. Don't be a dick sign. Remember that? See dick drive fast.
That's on private property.
Right. So I guess that's something this would qualify under. And in non-residential districts, they can go 20 foot and the maximum sign structure is 300 square foot. So obviously much bigger.
Are we good with a 40-foot maximum sign for a residential area?
40 square foot?
Is that big? That seems big. 4
Not-
by 10?
Not really. I mean,
Is that big? To me, it's big.
it's not small. But if you figured 4 foot by 10 foot, it's
What would it be beyond that guy with the speed sign? What would a normal use for a sign like this be in a residential area? I'm trying to think of a context, but I can't.
Those birthday
just
party
one-
signs, those
birthday
birthday
party?
party where they have a clear across the yard.
That's temporary though, right?
Yeah,
now this is
this is in
There's
general.
really no rhyme or reason to this because they can't have it if they have a business. You can't have signage out there, right? So if they have a barber shop in their house, which they can do that, right? are we going to say they can put a sign out there in a residential district?
Well, you could just put your family like on sometimes out in the trailers if they're camping. They got the Hoovers, Eric, Amanda, Indy, Ollie. I mean, that would be a sign if you wanted to do that, right?
I wouldn't classify that as sign though.
Would that not be a sign if it just has your names on it?
I think it's
I'm wondering if it was
conveying a message.
be like a commercial sign placed in a residential district. Is that what they're referring to?
Well, because you can't have any business signs. Can't run any business from your residential.
Well, say like a newly constructed neighborhood, maybe a contractor would have that sign saying that it's Applewood Homes or something. Now building or now whatever. Now, is that what we're talking about?
Well, it says, we went over that where it said that they can have the signs. That was we just did that. They can have the signs as long as they're under the permits but once it's the permit's settled, then the sign has to come down.
Yeah. And keep in mind, this is just general guidelines. There's other things that restrict what signs you can have, but if you can have a sign, you're confined to the minimum criteria.
Yes, I just don't know what it is.
It's always been there, so that doesn't necessarily mean it needs to be there, but maybe in a residential district, you're thinking of single family homes. This also qualifies for multifamily residential as well. So you could maybe if you drove back through a Villa Bay, for example, each one of those buildings, they could have a sign, saying this is cottage and give names or something. I guess you have stuff like that as well. Okay. Anything else on those? Section 121.12, maintenance of signs. This would probably be the last one. Maybe one more after this before we close here. So 121.12, maintenance of signs. All signs for which a permit is required by the Land Development Code include their supports, braces, guys, and anchors. Is that right? Guys. Should it be guides? What is a guide?
I assume it's something that for building. I don't know.
Guys are like wires, they're guide wires. Guys,
They're called guys. Okay.
Yeah.
So maintain
wires that come down.
Okay. So as to present neat, clean appearance, paint areas, sign service shall be kept in good condition, and illumination, if provided, shall be maintained safe working order. Trash, rubbish, and debris shall be kept clear, free. All good stuff. Yep. Outdated on-site signs. This subsection refers to on-site signs that are not currently being used to identify an activity on property, but that are not abandoned signs as defined by this chapter. Such signs shall be maintained, including at all times, covering inner fixtures. Yeah. So, somewhat redundant, I guess, but just going back to it. 121.13, outdoor advertising signs. The purpose of the section is hereby set forth as follows: to promote the health, safety, and welfare of persons within the city by avoiding an environment that encourages visual blight, and to prohibit the installation, construction, placement, erection of new outdoor advertising signs, billboards, which are hereby determined to be detrimental to the aesthetic sense and public health, safety, and general for the city. All good there, I guess. B, the instant. Just something?
No, it's breathing.
Okay. And
I
I didn't know if it was a sign or
No, I just.
B, the installation, construction, placement, or erection of new outdoor advertising signs, billboards is prohibited in incorporated cities, areas of city. So when it calls out billboards, when it talks about outdoor advertising signs, it's just talking about billboards. Is that
Your outdoor advertising sign is billboard, off-site sign, off-premises sign, all three of those things. So then here,
you didn't say anything about sign, just talking about outdoor
I'm
advertising.
looking at your definition. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I'll make some clarification.
Okay.
See number one,
Right?
the billboard company who leases the spot on our lot there. So I don't really have anything in the game at all. It says they have to register by August 16, 2022. I would imagine that billboards would already be registered and permitted in the city, correct?
Well, so for the purpose of this section, the term new outdoor advertising signs shall be defined as those outdoor advertising signs that have not registered. So if you've been registered up until August 16th, 2022, you're good. Anything after that would be new, and you can't have it. That's what that says.
Okay.
So like the one on your property has been there forever. They're obviously registered it with the city before then. But if you didn't have that there and I came in today to register one, I couldn't do it. And then see, in addition to a registered outdoor advertising sign, it increases the area of the sign by more than 10%. It becomes new. So they couldn't increase the size of that billboard by more than 10%. And then the reconstruction, relocation of a registered outdoor advertising sign, they couldn't move it to a different road. A new location lying outside a 20-foot radius from the location of the outdoor advertising sign is registered. So I guess you could move it within 1320, technically. That's interesting.
That's interesting.
A new, and we could probably take that out. They'll allow them to be moved, but you know, that might be if something goes through, we had to make some right-of-way adjustments, something may need to move it or something. Gives them a little attitude.
We could go back to the 2022 statute and see if it addressed why they use that, but I assume it means something to.
Yeah. And then a new parcel where such sign would not be permissible pursuant to city regulations in effect at that time. Such sign was really permitted. I think that's probably all okay. Do you guys agree?
Yeah.
Okay. How big's long? Okay, let's see if we get through 121.14. 5 minutes. 121.14, removal of signs on rights of way in violation of chapter. Except as provided otherwise in this chapter, any sign on right of way in violation of this chapter shall be subject to space. If it's in the right of way, they can remove it.
That won't. And remember, so however, if you tweak the language and allow for it,
then this wouldn't apply.
well, it would, because I think even that you're going to say it has to be like 5 feet back.
Right.
So if it's not 5 feet back, this would still apply. So you'll still want this language, but you'll just have to make sure it jives with whatever you end up doing, whether it's 5 foot from the roadway or whatever. Because you still want to make sure that people understand if you violate what we do allow, we will remove.
Right. Perfect. And that probably doesn't need any tweaking, I would think.
Probably
At least
not.
the way it reads.
Yeah.
Let's check it out. Illegal signs of negligible and no value, destruction. So if we remove a sign and it doesn't have any value, we can just throw it away. And then the recovery of impounded signs, abandonment, destruction, except for those signs described in subsection A1 of the section. Any sign removed and impounded by the city shall be held in storage, and the owner, if the owner's identity and whereabouts known to the city, shall be provided with a written form with written notice via certified mail and regular mail of impoundment, and within 15 days from the date of notice to reclaim such sign. May be destroyed if not reclaimed within 15 days. Let's see. Within 15 days of the written notice date, or within 15 days of the date of removal, if the identity and whereabouts of the owner. Okay, gotcha. So if 15 days after it's removed, could go to. Removal of signs on private property for immediate peril. The building is official or his designee may cause without notice immediate removal of any sign which is an immediate peril to persons on or property at joint and several expense of the owner, agent, leasee, or other person having beneficial use of the sign contractor, or the owner or leasee of the land. So if something is in danger, they can just take it. Okay. Anything on any of that? All sounds okay to me. Okay. Let's stop there. So if you could make a note, Ashley, that we'll pick up at 121.15. When we guys want to get back together.
For clarification, wasn't there a section that you wanted?
Yes, that was we skipped over the signs needing permit for now. That was section. I think something -4 maybe.
Yeah, I think it was 121-4.
121-4.
We just skipped that.
We skipped that for now. We'll come back to that. What do you guys think for next time? We've got a bunch of obviously budget stuff coming up. in September. The next council meeting is the 9th.
And there's a planning and zoning on the 9th in the afternoon.
Um,
You got a budget read number 1 on the 4th.
I'm good on the 9th, if everybody else is good on the 9th.
well, we got planning and zoning that day. When's our? We got.
On the 9th, we got canceled, yeah.
Should it be a Tuesday?
On September 4th, you have the
We want to try to make sure it's the same day she's coming, so to save travel costs.
If my calendar is still correct, on September 4th, you have a budget hearing.
Mhm.
I can come earlier that day.
What about the 12th of September,
So what?
23rd?
Well, I know you guys were in a hurry to try to get digital signs approved, so I'm trying to get through this as quickly as we can, because then we got to have 2 readings. So if we push the workshop out that, you got to put an extra few weeks.
I'm just trying to do it in line with our city council meetings.
Yeah, well, we got a budget hearing on the 4th.
4th and the
What time's that?
5:30.
And I can come that day.
I'm not going to be available at all.
On the 4th?
That day.
And then the second readings on the 8th, final readings on the 18th, again at 5:30.
Yeah, we have budget on the 4th, budget on the 18th.
Planning and zoning is at 1 on the 9th?
We got what on the 18th?
Budget.
Budget hearings.
Fine,
I can do it on the 18th.
I'm not gonna be here on the 18th. I thought we had a budget on
You have 2, one on the 4th and one on the.
Are you going to be over here anytime
I'm not
for
gonna,
court or anything?
11 and 12,
Actually,
I'm
I'll be
out.
here. Currently, I have code enforcement arraignments on Friday morning, September 5th. Sometimes those go away, and then I wouldn't come up here, but I mean,
Right.
you know. But right now, I would be coming
I'm
this
out
way.
11, 12.
You're out the 11th and 12th.
Yeah, okay.
Well, do we want to just roll it to the 23rd? Council? 4? Okay, you, Chris?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
We're getting our
Yep.
pictures taken that day, so
Oh, is that picture day?
Oh, crap, right. That is a picture day,
plus we can still do both.
the 16th.
Like, what time is picture day?
Because I'll be in here, right, to take
Yeah,
me.
they're gonna be here.
At noon.
We'll do it a different day then, do it another day.
Let me look at my actual calendar here. Yeah, and that one's from 12 to 4.
What about the 16th?
The 16th isn't here as well.
That's picture day, 16th.
We would only be out for a photo one at a time, right?
Well, the photos are in here.
26th.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we'll be here.
Yeah. But yeah, that's
Well, what about the 25th then?
Thursday?
Yeah.
I mean, works for me. Thursdays work fine for me.
I would have to.
Good.
Yeah,
Thursday's
I can't.
25th.
I'd have to do in the morning. I can't do the afternoon that day at all. I'd have
Well, the 18th is our second budget hearing. Would that work if we did it before that?
That's at
18th would
5:30
be
on the
better.
18th.
Depends on Nancy.
It's just Bob,
I-
Councilman Hubbard said he wasn't going to be here.
Want to do 18th at 1?
I won't be here.
He's not going to be here.
Can't log
Chris
in.
isn't
Can't log in?
I won't be available.
She'll have to travel special for it.
Yeah, and I can only do it in the morning because I have to be in court in Clearwater at 1:30, so I'd have to leave here like 11:30. I mean, I wouldn't have a lot of time.
The 5th, did nobody could do the 5th?
September 5th.
5th. Can you do that, Lisa? Friday the 5th?
Lisa said she could.
Bob?
The 5th. Could I do the
The
5th?
5th?
I'm not good on the 5th at
Oh, that's
all.
right.
There's always one.
And I know we definitely try to do it when I'm already going to be here, but if you need to do a different day, as long as my schedule fits it, I obviously can come. But I understand that that's not the ultimate solution, but that might be what you need to do.
We've got budget on the 4th, right? And then you want to do the 5th also?
Well, no, 5th, that work for Chris. So
Plus there's,
Let me see if I can move this to this
the
18th.
18th?
I might be able to do that. Hang on.
The 18th would be ideal for everybody.
Okay, let me see what I can do here real quick. Because you got a budget meeting too.
The second reading.
Well, he can just let us know later, right?
I can let you know here in just a second.
What time is budget?
That's at 5:30. What time's your thing, Bob?
Why do I have 5 on here? Are you sure? Budget on the 18th at 5?
5:30. Maybe you were trying to be punctual.
I was going to be on time.
So you're trying to trick yourself.
No go, Bob. Are you gonna be here for the budget hearing?
You just put yourself down for
Are you gonna be here for the budget hearing?
No.
Well, do you care if you want to be here for the workshop, or
No, I don't have to be here for that.
if you want to, we can definitely do it. But it's just gonna take longer, I guess.
And it will. I mean, it's not a final deal. I mean, when it comes
Right.
back, you can still
I can read it.
Yeah, if you-
say, "What y'all do?" And I wasn't here. This is crazy, and we can.
I mean, we covered most of it.
Yeah.
So, no, that's fine. You guys want to have that?
Yeah, you want to do 18th at 1?
Work for me.
Yeah, that works for me.
Okay. Let's do 18th at 1.
September 18th at 1
Yeah.
o'clock. I'll send everybody.
Okay. And let me get back to the agenda real quick. And we're going to table item number 2, minutes of Waterfront Lake District, just the same. Just keep rolling it. Moving on, comments from Mayor, City Council. I'll start with my right. Councilman Hubbard, anything?
Not at this time.
Okay.
No.
Councilman Burke. Vice Mayor, any comments?
No comments, sir.
I have none as well. With that, I look for a motion.
Motion adjourned.
I have a motion adjourned. Is there a second?
Second?
Okay, motion second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
See you all at